an injunction from the U.S. Supreme Court that would reject this recent judge's ruling. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
I'm Amy Beth Shaver with Alabama Unfiltered Radio, and when I need the news and I need it fast, I turn to Andrea Tice and the Daily Detail. On my way in, it is the most convenient, best way for me to digest what's going on so that I can use it for our show. She tells you what's going on in Alabama that day first and fast. So listen to the Daily Detail with Andrea Tice. Don't miss out.
The Daily Detail is available wherever podcasts are found.
A recall on Dynacare baby powder has been expanded to include more cases that could be contaminated with asbestos. The U.S. Food and Drug Administration issued the recall this past September and is now including more of that product. The baby powder that comes in 4-ounce containers is included in the recall and is sold in 35 states, including Alabama. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. Here are the 5 steps you'll have to take to buy a home in this market. First, it's so important to get pre-qualified through a local lender because to get an offer accepted, you will have to have a written pre-approval letter submitted with your offer. Second, it's critical that you have identified the 3 most important must-haves with a house, including the location where you want to live. Third, always hire a professional buyer's agent that will represent your best interest and to be looking out for your interests, not the seller's interests, through the transaction, working on your behalf all the way to the closing. Fourth, hire the best home inspector you can find. Let him identify the issues with the home. Let your agent negotiate on your behalf for needed repairs. Fifth, close with a top-notch closing attorney's office that will examine the title, provide you with title insurance, and give you good title in the future. For a complete list of buyer agent services, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
In politics, man must learn to rise above principle.
This is how you conduct yourself in a democracy?
I'm a better-looking person than Kamala. This is a Trump country. We live in the Southeast. We drink sweet tea. We don't drink socialist Kool-Aid.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program here on a, overcast, kind of gloomy Wednesday. Happy Halloween Eve. I guess people are saying that these days. A lot going on today in the world. Eddie Bader here in the studio with me. How you doing today, Eddie?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. Now, there's big breaking news with the Supreme Court of the United States allowing Virginia to actually purge non-citizens from the voter rolls. And of course, this was the same, quiet period or like the 90-day period that the Biden DOJ knocked Wes Allen. And I have a quote here, a statement from Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen. Quote, "Today, the United States Supreme Court restored common sense to the issue of whether non-citizens should be able to register and or vote in our elections. Only U.S. citizens are legally allowed to register, to vote, and cast a vote. Alabama joined the state of Kansas along with 24 other states in filing a brief in support of the Virginia case, and I am proud to see this positive development. Today's ruling is a victory for the U.S. Constitution." Well, you gotta like seeing that.
Yes, I did.
And joining us to talk about that and many other things, we have one and the only Jeff Poor, host of the Jeff Poor Show and editor-in-chief there at 1819news.com. Jeff, how you doing this afternoon?
Doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks for being on. First, your reaction to this big Supreme Court ruling.
I'm a little surprised that they did what they did this close, but I I mean, it does seem kind of absurd at face value that you can't police non-citizens from voting in your elections at any point during the election. But the Supreme Court really going out there on the limb, I think, this close to the election with this call.
It is close, but I've been beating this drum for a few weeks now that it's the legal status quo for decades. It does not address any of these concerns, and it's not just a Republican concern. I think it's based on Gallup polling, 40-something% of independents are worried about honesty on the voter rolls. So thank God for the Supreme Court, and it's also slightly, I think, a vindication for Secretary of State Wes Allen and what he was trying to do. He made his move, 84 days away from the election, just missing that 90-day mark. So he should be happy today, I suspect.
Yeah, I think so. But it's that 90-day mark, though, that that they're moving around, and what happened, Joey, was Department of Homeland Security kind of slow walked some of the stuff they needed to purge these voter rolls of the non-citizens. And then when they finally got what they needed, too late, you're within that 90-day window. That's not fair either. That should have probably been a little more focus on that, I would think.
Yeah, but it is, I think, a very, very good development because it's now been a decade or two where states have tried to create verification methods for citizenship, and they've been struck down by the courts time and time again in the name of election openness. So this could have major ramifications going forward. And speaking of, say, court rulings, this race between Shamari Figures and Caroline Dobson, it will come down to the wire, and we can talk the polling and what you think about the polling here in Alabama. I would love you to tell the audience that. But is this district even going to exist a few years from now, in 2 years when we have to do another election?
I would say based on this court decision today, maybe not. They will. I don't know that they could go back to what the legislature had drawn. Maybe they do. Maybe there is enough there that there's no middle ground to be struck. It's just like who's more right, and that's the way we're going to go here. But this may not be long for this world. We'll see. I don't imagine that they do go back to the way things were. What happens then?
Yeah, I mean, it just seems like this was a carve-out from the courts, and for the life of me, it's always struck me as like, wait, you did have this thing from the DOJ called pre-clearance for decades out of the civil rights era, and you had pre-cleared maps very comparable.
Over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yes, for 3 in a row. Here's what's curious to me is the judge. The judge is always in the middle of all this. Anna Manasco, she was a Trump appointee, highly, highly recommended by Richard Shelby. Did one get slip through the cracks here with those early judicial appointees?
It seems that way because other rulings have been much more in the favor of let's just let the legislature actually work this out. It is inherently a political process. So I don't know. Speaking of this race, though, between Caroline Dobson and Shamari Figures, a lot of the polling looks bleak for Dobson and great for Figures, but you told me on your show this morning something I did not know about how off, say, polling in Alabama has been even just this cycle.
I think, and I'm not going to tell you that polls are wrong or any of that, but there's enough evidence out there to suggest it's okay to be skeptical of the polls. And let me explain to you a couple of things. I think, number one, this district was drawn to be D+3, and the polls are showing D+5 to 10. What accounts for that margin, right? Why isn't this kind of falling in line somewhere in that realm? I guess if it's +5, that's kind of there, but it's not. And there's something missing here. I think if we're going to base it on passive voting behavior. Second part is, guys, and earlier this year, Barry Moore versus Jerry Carl, and the polling just days before the actual primary runoff, or primary, they didn't have a runoff. Jerry Carl was polling +7 ahead of Barry Moore. The Goober at AUM, his poll had it there. I think there was an alpha poll that sort of backed that up. I don't remember what it was. It may have been Forestry, whatever it was. There was another poll that suggested that's where this race was headed. It was going to go Jerry Carl. There was no question about it. And we know that didn't happen. So what should that tell us? I mean, I know they're not the same, but pollsters in these new congressional districts, it's sort of an evolving science and understanding voting behaviors in a new district that I don't think they have quite figured out. I think they're giving their best guess, but there's some voters that just aren't responding to these surveys in these two congressional districts.
How is the general, say, enthusiasm for not just the congressional race, but the presidential politics going on in kind of your neck of the woods?
Yeah, I mean, it's red hot for Trump, and I lived it in 2020. In Alabama, it's unheard of to have to wait in line at a polling precinct, and I waited for like 2.5 hours just to vote for Trump, just to see what was going on. And it may be just people who think that, I mean, Alabama's going to go for Trump no matter what, and people really think their vote counts. It doesn't. It's going, not to be the bearer of bad news, but the state's going to go for Trump no matter what happens, more than likely. It's just how big for Trump is it going to go in CD2. Will people be enthusiastic for Trump and dispirited by kind of the way things are going for Harris, and maybe they stay home because, especially in Alabama, it doesn't really matter. This is going to go for Trump, so why am I wasting my time? That gives her, I think, a shot here, probably more than the polls will reflect.
Now, zooming out a little more, I just find that there's plenty to be infuriated, frustrated by. A lot of nastiness going on right now, especially on social media when it comes to the election. But there's a part of me that loves this timeline where one of my favorite comedians, roast comedian Tony Hinchcliffe, tells a joke to open a Trump rally at a sold-out Madison Square Garden, and that becomes the news cycle longer than after Trump was, almost shot to death. And out of this, you get, number one, I think the honorary senator from Puerto Rico endorsing Trump, giving a great speech. You get one of the big mayor there in Puerto Rico saying, no, this doesn't make us feel all that bad. And then you get the gift from Joe Biden taking what was a roast joke and then making a serious comment of, well, the only garbage I see are his supporters referring to Trump supporters. I mean, what a world we live in right now politically.
It is. I don't think any of that moved a single vote, but they thought it would, right? Democrats believe that sincerely. They thought this was going to be a winning line. So let me say this. What it did was, whatever you think of this tactic, trying to find these key moments and making them what the race is all about, the Democrats chose to go in that direction, and they were executing, right? They had a game plan, and they were following the game plan. However, the problem, Joey, with it was now they're having to play defense for Joe Biden. It throws them off of their playbook. They're now on defense. He stepped on the rake. He caused them some problems. I don't think either one of these comments, Joe Biden's or this roast comedian, really matter in the long run. But what it does, it forces the media to play defense instead of just being hammer Trump over and over again.
Yeah, it's interesting too how it really, you can tell when you go online or when you tune in to cable news, like how close we are to election day. How do you, like personally, how do you keep your sanity when these things start getting a little nuts out there?
I mean, just know at the end of the day, Joey, like, no matter what happens on November 5th, you're still probably going to get up on November 6th or January 21st, whatever the line in the sand is, and you're going to come into the studio. You're going to do your radio show, and you're either going to be talking about Trump or Kamala Harris or whatever it may be. It's just like you sit through enough of these, and every election is the most important election of your lifetime, and none of the elections are the most are that important, right?
Right.
So it becomes you become desensitized to it. Well, like, it's just fascinating to me. What keeps me interested in it is like it's like observing human behavior, and there's sort of a historic record here about where where the ebbs and flows. Where are we in American history right now? So it's like that's fascinating to me. But you don't pin all your emotion, all your dreams and hopes and whatever on a stupid presidential election.
That makes a lot of sense to me. Now, Question I haven't had a chance to ask many others we just reacted to the other day. Mitch McConnell is going to step down as Senate leader. How do you think the jockeying works out for a new Senate Republican leader? And I think it's too early. I think one day Senator Brett will probably be in leadership, maybe not this go around. But where do you think this shakes out?
Tuberville says he's waiting to see where this goes. What if there are more newer members before he commits? It sounds like John Thune, John Cornyn, maybe outside shot for Rick Scott. Rick Scott's, very interested in it. He raises money, and that's what it takes to be leader. But I mean, if there's some unexpected victories in the Senate, if it's that big of a wave election, maybe you get something beyond the realm of those three. But that's sort of where I see it going. I think whatever it is, it's an improvement for Mitch McConnell for sure. The question is, Mitch McConnell worked against Trump in a lot of ways in 2017. The new leader is going to have to at least pull a Kevin McCarthy and at least talk in terms of we're going to work with the Trump administration and get some of his legislation shepherded through in that first 100 days. Katie Britt, she plays the game really well. She's on appropriations as a freshman member. I still think we're a cycle away from her leadership. I know she flirted with the NRSC chairmanship, which would be a good role for her, honestly, as a spokeswoman, as somebody who does fundraisers. But it just seems like somebody said, "Hey, let's pump the brakes here a little bit, do some Fox News, but let's not dive in head first into some of these leadership roles."
How does it work a little bit behind the scenes? We don't have to get into every little detail, but why does it end up being sort of these guys who shy away from the camera, like Cornyn or a Thune, as opposed to, say, somebody like a Cruz or even a Rubio or a Rand Paul having a shot? Like, how does it work up there to where you get the same? Mitch McConnell's gone, but you get the same type of guy, just maybe a little younger.
The Cruz and Rand Paul is easy to explain. They just make a lot of enemies by some of their stands. They don't play team ball. They're an island unto their own. Rubio's a little different. Rubio might have a shot at a leadership post at some point. He does play team ball. He'll do what he's got to do. But I think, like most of these U.S. senators, it's not about the glamour of being a senator. It's about the perks. To get the perks, you got to kind of go up there and play the dirty Washington, D.C. game, and they just want somebody who is a face of your Republican Party as a leader that's not necessarily a showboating guy, but more of a deal maker.
Now, I know we're going a little long here, but on the House side, like nationally, where do you think the House is going? Everybody's talking about the presidency, but I think the House of Representatives majority is very important here.
It does. It probably hangs about where it is. I think it depends on the top of the ticket, but I'm very, if you talk to me in the last few days, I'm very bullish on Donald Trump. I think he has coattails. I think he brings more and more with him. I think it goes from a 2 or 3 vote majority to maybe a 10 vote majority, which is significant more than you think. Everything is so baked in right now. But the Republicans ought to extend their lead, but just very, very slightly.
Well, we'll see how it shakes out. I think the next time we'll talk on air, at least, is going to be the day after. So we'll see, folks. As we often say here through Samuel Jackson, hold on to your butts. It's coming. I always appreciate the time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, think about how can they do so?
X.com/Jeff_Poor. That's sort of the way to know.
Well, appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, man. Thanks.
Thanks.
Again, folks, Jeff Poor. Always enjoy having him on the program. But hopeful. Yeah, and when I was talking to him on his show this morning, we're both like, yeah, I'm hopeful. You feeling hopeful?
Pretty confident.
Feeling confident?
Mm-hmm.
But isn't that a weird feeling?
It is. I mean, it's nervous confidence.
Yeah.
It's Auburn playing. Well, it's anybody playing Auburn, right? Yeah.
We beat Kentucky, baby.
That still don't even feel right.
No, you know the season's bad when we're happy
right.
We beat Kentucky.
I didn't brag. I didn't get to wear my shirt, though.
But we got Vanderbilt next this upcoming weekend.
Right. I'm expecting to beat them.
So nervous confidence when it comes to Vanderbilt. And that's how you feel about the election.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering, like, every poll looks all right.
Yeah.
It does look like it's going in the right direction. But I don't trust my hope.
I don't either. And the other side seems desperate more and more every day. So that does, I get a little warm feeling about that. But again, it's nervous.
Now, to bring up the same thing I just talked about with Jeff Four, you and I are both, like, we love podcasts, but especially comedy podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
And the number one live comedy podcast is Kill Tony.
Yeah.
And to be in a world where not just Tony Hinchcliffe, but people like Joe Rogan have more sway, it seems, with the American population because they're not explicitly political.
People trust
They'd like
them
to have
more.
fun.
Yeah, but people
Yes.
trust them more. It's as strange as that sounds.
Right. And then you even see somebody like Jon Stewart coming out and defending the comedians, going, I'm sorry, that guy's hilarious. He is.
It's a joke.
Right.
It's what the dude does for a living.
Right. And when you see the juxtaposition from, like, a regular Kill Tony episode, there's groaner moments, there's uncomfortable moments,
Yes.
there's hilarious moments, but generally everybody from all different walks of life, usually folks who aren't exactly in the elite either.
Oh, correct.
Who are kind of just looking for a laugh to get through
Yeah.
their day.
Most of them living in their car.
Right. Like, but everybody's kind of laughing, having a good time.
Yeah.
Even when it doesn't go well, that plays into having a good time still at the end of the day.
Bombing is funny.
Right. You juxtapose that next to Joe Scarborough and Mika Brzezinski and Rick Wilson and all these folks on MSNBC, these disgusting races. It's like you have perpetual scowls on your faces. I like to think I can scowl and I can belly laugh.
You have a mix of emotions, do you?
Yeah. I think I can do both. But it's something about this. I wanted to believe in it. Again, not trusting my hope, having a nervous confidence about it, that this revolution, you might write a book or essay, call it The Revolution That Laughed. There's a realignment happening in the country. And part of that is being driven, yes, by technological change, but this resurgence of that sort of uniquely American sense of humor. That's rough and tumble, that's transgressive, but at the end of the day is about bringing people together by sort of cracking
With
jokes
humor.
on one another. Yes,
With
it's
humor.
beautiful.
Comedians have been doing that for years, whether it be over race or politics or whatever.
Right.
And that was one of the great things is they bring out laughter. You can take a situation that should be incredibly volatile and make a
Right.
joke out of it, and all parties laugh.
And the fact that Trump himself, half of what he does is a stand-up routine, essentially.
Right.
Plays right into this. Whereas I think the average political person, they might like a joke every once in a while, but they don't know how to handle a joke that's good enough to where it kind of tells the truth or it really gets
It's got
under your
truthism in
skin
there.
or whatnot. They don't know how to respond to this. So out of Tony Hinchcliffe making a joke, you get this from Joseph Robinette Biden Jr.
Oh.
This is what everybody's, I guess, chatting about today.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of things is unconscionable.
The only garbage I see out there are his supporters, meaning Trump's. Of course, Kamala having to play cleanup. Tim Walz saying, I don't think that undermines, by golly jeepers, our unity message or anything.
But you're a Trump supporter. Did that really bother you
No.
in the least bit?
No,
it did
like
not.
they called you Nazis and all
Right.
this stuff. Like, who cares?
Who cares?
But it sort of confirms it's like, yeah, that's what they think.
Yeah.
We'll go back to the bitter clingers comment. No, and I also am one, I think this is just true of politics and human society. There will always be a bit of tension, if not outright animosity, between sort of your elite set and your everyday person.
That
There's
distrust.
always going to be distrust there.
Yep.
Even when everything's going well
Oh,
and everybody's kind of getting along, there's still going to be a little distrust. If things go bad, they're going to crack down. If things go bad, they're going to get the pitchforks. Like, there's always that dynamic in human society. Like, even when you like your boss.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I
There's a
mean?
separation.
There's a difference between management and workers.
Yeah.
Even when management's great and the workers are great, everybody's on the same page, you still are like, he's going to screw me.
Yeah, in the end, there's a reason he's your boss.
Right. And so I think some of that is really come out this cycle to where it's not even about, again, it's not about the rational arguments and everybody wants to act like it's about policy at the end of the day.
I kind of gave up on that a while back.
Come on. Yeah. Like there's kind of a general directional tilt, like whoever wins, where the policy will go, and you might like one over the other. But that's not, I think, what's actually triggering people to vote one way or the other who are undecided at this point.
Do you think there is still a lot of undecided?
Not a lot.
What could they be undecided about at this point? I don't. And I actually saw one get interviewed last night, a guy that was undecided. But by the end of the interview,
I think some of them are just being like coy.
Well,
like I'm being undecided because I get attention.
Well, this particular person was an immigrant, legally immigrant, and immigrated, I think, his family when he was about 12 years old. So this is his third time he's able to vote, I think he said. But he said he was torn. He didn't know. He said, I was born a Democrat. I feel like I was born a Democrat. However, the policies, I don't recognize this party anymore. And they keep telling me Trump is evil. His belief was Trump's not evil. And so the guy that's doing the interview goes, well, I think your choice is already made. And the guy kind of had an aha moment. He goes, yes, I will vote for Trump. That was that.
Well, okay. So again, Biden says this.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
Ouch.
So in real time, Marco Rubio, Trump is giving a rally when Biden says that. It hits the news wires. Rubio is at this rally Trump is holding.
Okay.
Rubio interrupts Trump. Just walks up on stage. Here, we'll put it up on full screen.
Hold up, little Mario.
Little Marco, what are you doing up here, little Marco? Well, Big Don, I just had to tell you. Well, this is the scene. This is what happens. Again, Rubio walks in, interrupts Trump.
Good man, this one.
Hands him a piece of paper.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I have breaking news for you, Mr. President. You may not have heard this. Just moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
It's such a wrestling match.
Are garbage. Right. He's talking about the Border Patrol. He's talking about nurses. He's talking about teachers. He's talking about everyday Americans who love their country and want to dream big again and support you, Mr. President. And I hope their campaign is about to apologize for what Joe Biden just said. We are not garbage. We are patriots who love America. And thank you.
We are not garbage.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's terrible. That's what it says. That's what it says. So you have, remember Hillary, she said deplorable? And then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable, that didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? But he doesn't know, you have to please forgive him. Please forgive him, for he not knoweth what he said.
Wow. At times, you can look at it all different ways. It can be infuriating. It's like, how dare you? You must apologize. Or you could look at it like it's Vince McMahon running in and Stone Cold is actually going to give him a stunner or something. Like, come on.
I've had 4-year-olds break my heart harder than that.
Yeah.
With some truth bombs. Right.
Oh, yeah. You're garbage.
Just
like you've been calling us Nazis for generations.
I just didn't get it. I know they're grasping at everything, but you garbage.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Woo, Lord have mercy, Jesus. Can I say that?
Yeah. I think this whole nation needs Jesus. There you go.
No doubt. No doubt, my friend.
Okay. Can you help me out, Mr. Joey?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have that baby crying thing handy, sir?
Yeah, I think I got it right here.
You are a rude, terrible person.
Oh, no, sorry, that was the wrong one. I think it's this one right here.
Shut up, silly woman.
No, I got a mislabeled, Duke. I'm sorry.
Okay. Well, I say it out loud. Marco Rubio, sir, Mr. Marco, what Trump used to call him?
Little Marco.
Little Marco, you ran to the master You went to the master. Oh, when he got to the master, oh, master, they call us garbage, master. Hell, stop crying. Be a man and grow a set, boy. Damn. I've heard Trump talk about garbage, and Detroit was a messed up city. I almost said F word. But I heard all this talk, man. Everybody been talking trash out here. All of a sudden, they get their feelings hurt and everything and get all of that damn wine and then wine and then wine and then damn it wine. Stop that damn whining, please.
Well, you hurt our tribe.
Yeah.
And you're not on the right side. And screw you, buddy. We're not garbage.
I mean, I'm not talking about, but you called somebody else garbage the day before. Come on now.
No, I said the city had gone to garbage, all right?
Okay, but what the hell that guy think about garbage? You said in his little thing, but you to start with. Then he carving watermelon with him, but one of us. He ain't carving no watermelon with me.
Yeah, have you seen a Kill Tony episode? Yeah. Yeah, Tony makes fun of everybody and often makes racial jokes, yeah.
But what I'm saying now,
right.
How many times have Kamala responded to Trump talking trash at her? Maybe
Every
once,
single
twice,
time.
but hell,
Every
she ain't
single time,
She ain't
dude.
studying that. She ain't studying a lot of times. She going on.
Oh,
whatever you watch it. Every single time.
High.
Dude,
No,
you're
one of the
wrong
guys-
on this one, buddy.
All right, go ahead. What,
You're wrong
say
on
what
this
now?
one. She every single time. That is her thing now. Is Trump is
Now they
evil.
going at it. They going at it for his politics now. Before it's personally attacking him, she do a little stuff like you guys do with the Biden saying he's Asian and all that. Boy, she attacking his policy most of what I hear. Before getting too personal, I don't hear her getting too personal with Trump. Calling her
like
different
you're listening to
names
the wrong stuff.
and a lot of the people on the stand calling her prostitutes and all that stuff. Like what's that guy?
That's Joe Brown, Judge Joe Brown.
All the guys on that stage, were talking a lot of trash. But hell, be thick-skinned when it be thrown back your way. That's all I'm saying. Hell,
That's kind of what.
No,
we're
but that's
doing.
not how the game is played.
We're literally
well,
mocking
hell,
the fact
stop whining. But this boy looked so small running to there. I thought he had something to say. He running there. A damn tongue hanging out of his mouth, dragging the floor. Ball man. You know what? They call us garbage, boss man. Man, just your weak ass down somewhere.
Let's hear it.
Let me go, man. Let me.
Moments ago, Joe Biden stated that our supporters are garbage.
Duke, to your point, Trump's reaction is kind of like, ooh, it's like a 4-year-old coming up. He called me
supposed
a
to get mad about that. Come on.
Oh, goodness. Well, anyway, I appreciate it as always, Duke.
You think he's going to call us next Wednesday?
Maybe, yeah.
Just curious.
We'll see.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Just curious.
I do like that shirt you're wearing, that Rebel Scum shirt. I like that.
A friend of mine reminded me that, he's out of the race.
Vivek? Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but you realize he's going to be part of the administration. You think so? It's like, what world are you living in?
His own world, apparently. Goodness gracious.
You want to let me know, he's out of the race. You can pull that support.
2-7. Yeah. It's like when people try to talk in family, like try to talk politics. You heard this, Joey? Yes.
I've heard everything.
Yes.
I've heard everything. Please
I've heard
tell me nothing else. I've heard everything.
Oh, wait, you got an opinion. Oh, let's hear this one. Thanks.
Yep.
And if you have an opinion, 272-9228.
Haven't heard that one.
This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting. And they're at River Region Contracting, Todd Clark and the team, they really are ready to help you. Unlike, politicians who promise you stuff, they actually do the job well there at River Region Contracting.
That's right, Joey.
And you should get that roof inspected every few years per the manufacturer. But we highly recommend do it every year because when you work with River Region Contracting, that inspection's always free.
That's right, Joey.
And if they do find an issue, the estimate's going to be free.
And accurate.
And they're insurance specialists, so they can walk you through that insurance claims process if you think your insurance company's going to pay out.
Yeah.
And if you get the inspections done on an annual basis, they're not going to be able to claim like you were negligent or
Exactly
something.
right. You'll have documentation.
So check them out today. Again, that's asphalt or metal roof. And just make sure you're all right. You're all set. You don't have any problems up there in River Region Contracting, ready to do just that for you. 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. You believe in ghosts?
Sometimes.
You do?
I've had an experience or two. Yeah.
Like what? It sounds like you don't want to talk about it.
Not really.
Like it was that jarring?
One of them was, yeah. In the house I grew up in.
Like you saw something?
I saw something.
What'd you see?
It was something. It was something. I mean, I don't.
Was it
wanna
like
get
a
into it,
human? Or like
don't know what
look
it
like a human? Or like was it
I don't want to sound like a weirdo, but yeah.
Was it like a spider from the deep?
It looked like a straight up ghost. And I was probably 12, 13 years old, froze in my skin.
So it wasn't like
frozen.
John Carpenter's The Thing.
No, it was just kind of like he was passing through the room. Literally passing through the room, going out the door. That's the only real thing I've ever experienced.
That's crazy. I mean, I've had crazy nightmares.
But
I've never had a supernatural like a.
Who really knows? But I felt it in my soul, like day that. To the point of I went, oh, I guess I believe in ghosts now.
And still to this day.
Oh yeah.
You like haunted houses?
Nope. I used to like to go. Back in the day, the JCs had great ones, and it was a great way that you guarantee a girl was going to hold your hand that night. So yes, we were all about those.
All
But
right.
no, it was the most miserable experience of my life.
Man, don't you miss the days where all you wanted was somebody to hold your hand?
Yeah, at times. But
Where that could please you? Yeah, I know.
That does please me. There's nothing like, make me sound like a sap. There's nothing like in the middle of the night, you wake up and you roll over, put your hand on your partner. There's nothing like, there's Joey, there's not a feeling in the world that makes me feel better. No, I've got that.
Especially when you think there's a ghost in the closet.
I don't live in that house anymore.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. And we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years. And now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduce stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Ah, Igor, don't you just love the sound of thunder? No, Dr. Frankenstein. It's scary. But I need a lightning bolt to bring the monster to life.
Actually, lightning is scary. A single strike within a mile of your home can send a tidal wave of voltage through the wires, burning out your computers, TVs, and GFCI plugs, even refrigerators and ovens.
Oh, drat. Missed us again.
But here's the good news. The trained technicians at Crosby Electric can install an economical whole house system to protect you from electrical surges caused by lightning, downed power lines, nearby factories, or just the recycling of your own appliances.
Igor, why am I not getting a surge?
Well, I have a pretty good hunch.
Why, yes, Igor. And a fine hunch it is.
Igor ordered whole house surge protection from Crosby Electric. So should you. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Hi, everybody. I think clouds will gradually erode away, and we work into mostly sunny skies later with a high temperature up to about 84. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very mild. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. And for Halloween tomorrow, a very warm day with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine. We'll be in the 70s during the trick-or-treat hours. The overnight low temperature is Thursday night, 62. Friday and Saturday, the month of November starts warm and dry with high temperatures up to about 86 both days. I've got us around 84 and still dry Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Exciting times at Capital Tractor, your hometown Kubota dealer. John Bobo here. Construction is almost complete on our new Montgomery location, but until then, our moving sale continues with great Kubota deals. Don't miss it. Capital Tractor, Montgomery and Brundage.
I'm Wes Allen, Secretary of State. In Alabama, election integrity is a top priority. We must ensure fair, secure, and transparent elections. To vote in Alabama, state law requires voters to present a valid form of photo identification. For a complete list of acceptable identification, or to learn more about acquiring a free photo voter ID, visit alabamavotes.gov.
This message is presented by Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen.
Live local talk, the River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Well, joining us now in the studio, Eddie's still here, still believes in ghosts.
I had one little experience.
Yeah,
See, that's what happens when you share. That's what happens when you share.
What do you mean? This is what happened.
All of a sudden, judgmental.
I'm not judging you. I'm making fun of you, you dope.
Big difference.
I believe in ghosts.
You
Anyway, we got what? Fine. We got a serious conversation to have here. So we have a candidate for Congress, Robin Whitaker, here in the studio with us. How you doing today?
I am doing really good.
Good to see you.
Campaign tired, but it's a good tired.
Yes, ma'am. So, where all have you been? Just remind folks kind of the district, and it's District 7, right?
Yes.
Okay.
13 counties, 3 half counties over on the western side of the state. It is the only currently Democratic House seat in Alabama. So I have traveled right at 40,000 miles since last November. It's really been more than that, but it goes all the way down to Clark, Choctaw County, all the way up to Jefferson.
And this is the seat Terry Sewell's been in for, how long has she been there?
14 years. And you know what I compare it to? You know how you listen to talk show hosts and they talk about how bad San Francisco, New York, Chicago.
Sure.
Okay, this is the rural equivalent. I mean, that is how run down District 7 is. And if you have, I would love to get into.
Sure. Yeah, what are some of the problems that have been bedeviling the district for over a decade? I know.
Well, the first thing, the reason I initially got into this was over education. I'm a retired teacher, principal, former state teacher of the year. And you look at things and it's like, these are the most failing schools and districts in the state of Alabama. Well, they all have one thing in common. They take the most federal money. Now, I'm not suggesting the federal money go away. what I'm suggesting is what they're doing with it. See, the federal government is running these schools and these districts, and they do it with mandates, and teachers have no flexibility to use the instructional materials, the books that they need to use. So I want the mandates gone. And I want teachers, parents, I want them to have the decision-making authority over the instructional material and the curriculum, right?
I was going to say, so it'd be like a block grant without all those strings attached on, like, it sounds like the bureaucrats in DC are deciding, here's how you have to spend it and divvy it up.
Yeah, like somebody up in Washington knows what your little boy in Choctaw County needs to read. And originally, federal funds were supposed to kind of equalize things from impoverished districts to more affluent districts, but it hasn't done that. It's just continued to hold these kids down. So that was the main reason I got into it. And then I started traveling and I saw the healthcare. Healthcare is horrible. There are hospitals closing, like up in Pickens County last Christmas, 2 little boys sat and watched their daddy die because it took, and it really bothers me still, it took 45 minutes for an ambulance to get there. And in Pickens County last week, they used to have 2 ambulances, now they only have 1. The hospital in Thomasville has just closed. And there are 24 on the possible closing list in the Black Belt. And we already have a situation where over 50% of the infant deaths in this state happen to Black infants. And that's just
awful.
Yeah, it's terrible. And coincidentally, Miss Sewell takes money from the insurance companies that aren't reimbursing these hospitals at the same rate that they do hospitals in places like the greater Birmingham area. So it's like she's profiting on everybody else's misery. And the reason I mentioned education and hospitals, medical care first, is because those are the 2 number 1 things that people are going to look at before they move into an area. Before you can build businesses, you've got to have those 2 things in place. And they're failing miserably in the Black Belt. And then the last thing, if I can keep talking, is infrastructure. And this is one of the things. Last week, I went to a town in Lowndes County. Do you know what straight line piping is?
Generally, yes.
Yeah, it's when a pipe is hooked to a place where somebody lives and it runs out about 100 yards. And the sewage spills all over the ground, the rot, and it just sits there. And I taught in an inner city school for 10 years. I thought I had seen poverty, but I'm telling you, I'm a tough person, and it brought me to tears, the poverty I saw last week here in Alabama. And then over in towns like Marion, the water is rusty. Last week, they actually, some of the areas in Marion went without water for over 5 days.
Goodness.
In Uniontown, you cut the water on, it's the most disgusting smell. And people in these areas are left to buy their own drinking water, buy the water they cook with, but they're left to bathe in that. And I've had people come up to me, and this one man came up to me and he said, "You're going to help us." Wasn't a question, it was a statement. They're tired of living that way. And I compare it to like Flint, Michigan, but nobody knows about it. It's, to me, that big of an issue.
Are they even addressing that over there? Or they're just...
Yeah, I was about to say, with all that federal money flowing in there, how is this still going on?
Well, at one point, and we've tried to track this down, there was a $33 million grant
Yeah.
for Uniontown.
Okay.
Well, change orders, studies, experts, and they were going to pipe it over to Demopolis.
Mhm.
I have a video on YouTube of a couple in Demopolis that have had raw sewage running on their property for over 30 years. And that flows into the Tom Bigby. In Uniontown, what we found out is that it flows into the creeks, down into Selma, into the Alabama River. And people are eating fish out of that
yeah.
river.
Yeah.
I mean, I can go on and on. They have a area in Uniontown they call the Mountain, and it's where 32 states have been allowed to dump their trash, including coal ash from the TVA. Now, I'm the kind of person, you better believe I'm going to raise teetotal about that. That's got to stop. These issues have got to be fixed. And I'm also not the kind of person that just wants to point things out. We've been, I have a great campaign team, and we've been researching, okay, how can we fix this? And there are ways. The problem's been the money, grants, allocations have been there, but there's no follow through with it. And with a congressional office, you don't directly oversee a project, but you are responsible for making sure that that federal money is spent appropriately.
Oh, what a mess. Now, what is the reception? It's heartbreaking, but what is the reception to your candidacy as you get out there and you talk to folks in this part of the world? Because I'll just be blunt about it. It's long been Terry Sewell, Congresswoman Sewell's seat, and it's very tough to unseat an incumbent.
Yeah, and I realize that, but I have, in fact, I think we're starting to get a lot more noticed than we have been early on in the campaign, because what we're doing is we're actually going, this is grassroots. We're going into small towns. I don't care what the neighborhood is. I go up to the door, knock on the door, introduce myself, and talk to people. And as simplistic as that may sound, I'm now going back to some of these small towns, and they're going, oh yeah, we know who you are. We know who you are. And I'm obviously, if you're watching this, you see the gray hair. I'm not doing this for a career.
Right.
I'm doing it as a service. And it's a God thing for me. I don't think that my Lord and Savior means you're supposed to do for people the best that you can do.
Right. Absolutely. Where are because I'm thinking this through, where are the major population centers in this district? Does it rub up against, say, Montgomery and Birmingham, or?
Montgomery used to be in the district, and there was a hospital that had a $60 million default under her watch here in Montgomery a few weeks ago. But Montgomery is no longer in it. Tuscaloosa, and part of Jefferson, which would be Birmingham.
Because I asked that too, because you don't have like the straight piping and some of these other issues in Tuscaloosa or right there in Birmingham for the most part. I know there are other issues there, but it just seems like there's a massive disconnect from those population centers and from what you're describing, which is abject poverty.
And what I've been doing is I'll go into meetings like in Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and go, let me tell you what's going on in the rest of this district. And they're shocked. And again, there are issues in the greater Birmingham area. There are issues in Tuscaloosa. But I think what we have to do, we have to look at this district as a whole. It is the 15th most impoverished area in this country. And, you know, folks, we can do better by people than that. And these are people that have been on this land for generations. This is their land. they love where they live. And I ask people too, if you had sewage bubbling up in your streets in Mountain Brook, how long do you think that would go on? Of course, Mountain Brook's not in the district, but
I know what you're saying.
yeah, it wouldn't happen.
Wouldn't fly at all. And well, could you have time to stick around for another segment after our top of the hour break?
Sure, I'd love to.
Keep this conversation going. Again, we're talking to Robin Whitaker. She is running for Congress, Republican nominee, challenging Congresswoman Terry Sewell there in the Congressional District 7. And it's a little different because of this brand new Congressional District 2. So we'll see. I love what you're saying and that you've put in the work. In the sense, I love that you're saying it. I don't love hearing the reality. But it sounds like you've really, like you said, you got into this because of the education side of things, and now seeing certain problems with your own eyes. It's just, you sound like somebody's been truly struck by it, by something that's kind of not on everybody's radar. So I want to keep going with this. We got to hit our top of the hour break, though. First, this part of the program brought to you by Clearwater's Property Management, and what they help you out there at Clearwater's doing is tree removal, tree trimming, stump grinding. So if you got that ugly stump you want to get rid of, they got your back there. Reed and the team can help you out. Tree trimming could be branches overhanging the house or slapping it against the siding when it gets windy.
Yeah.
Could be you're hitting like a bush essentially every time you go into the driveway.
Got that nice scratch down your car.
And then with tree removal, you don't have to wait till it falls. Like, in fact, if you're noticing you got a big tree and it looks kind of dead, there are signs. Get Clearwater's Property Management out there before something even bigger happens. Right. That number, 430-0376. That's 430-0376. And be sure to tell Reed and the team that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The U.S. economy grew at a healthy 2.8% annual rate from July through September, with consumers helping drive growth despite the weight of still high interest rates. The gross domestic product, the economy's total output of goods and services, did slow slightly from its 3% growth rate in the April-June quarter. The Supreme Court's conservative majority is allowing Virginia to resume its purge of voter registrations that the state says is aimed at stopping people who are not U.S. citizens from voting. The justices granted an emergency appeal from Virginia's Republican administration. The specter of immigrants voting illegally has been a main part of the political messaging this year from Donald Trump and other Republicans. On Wall Street, the Dow had 118 points, but the NASDAQ Composite down 1. This is SRN News.
Hey, folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text prepare to 989898. That's prepare to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Hi, everybody. I think clouds will gradually erode away and we work into mostly sunny skies later with a high temperature up to about 84. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very mild. Overnight, low temperature down to about 64. And for Halloween tomorrow, a very warm day with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine. We'll be in the 70s during the trick-or-treat hours. The overnight low temperatures Thursday night, 62. Friday and Saturday, the month of November starts warm and dry with high temperatures up to about 86 both days. I've got us around 84 and still dry Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Thank you for voting ASC Credit Union, the best credit union in the River Region 6 years in a row. As we celebrate our 70th anniversary, we are proud to be at the top of the list for the best credit union in the hearts of the communities we serve.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, these are today's top stories. A mistrial was declared Tuesday in the capital murder trial of William Chase Johnson, the man charged with killing Lowndes County Sheriff Big John Williams in 2019. After several days of deliberations, the jury was still deadlocked and unable to come to a verdict. Officials say it will be at least 1 year before Johnson can be retried for the murder. State Representative Mac Butler is taking a bold stand supporting Alabama Secretary of State Wes Allen's recent attempt to purge illegal voters after a federal judge blocked the state's effort. Over 3,000 non-citizen voters remain on Alabama's voter rolls. Butler remarked that Alabama is a sovereign state and we should stand up against federal interference. The Montgomery County Board of Education has approved the contracts for Interim Superintendent Jamie Wilson and Interim Chief School Financial Officer Pamela Watkins. Both Wilson and Watkins will be under 6-month contracts as the board prepares to search for a permanent superintendent and chief school financial officer. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Is your business feeling the heat of cyber attacks? Tired of worrying about ransomware, data breaches, downtime, and employee mistakes? GTI Managed IT Solutions has been your trusted partner since 1999, safeguarding and supporting businesses like yours from the ever-evolving threats in the digital world. GTI, your peace of mind is guaranteed. Call us today at 819-4650 or visit gtinow.com.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Continue our conversation here with Robin Whitaker, running for Congress, District 7. This has been Terry Sewell's congressional seat for 14 years now. 7 terms. She's going for an 8th term. And the ground we've covered so far, Robin, is, especially when you get outside the population centers, just the lack of infrastructure, the lack of health care, the educational lack of opportunity in that regard. So, like, what are some of the solutions to this? Is it, as we suggested earlier, streamlining how federal money is sent, getting rid of the strings attached, or having, like, how much can be done in terms of, like, follow-up, too? And, like, I'd imagine the EPA is all over if Birmingham, Montgomery does something, but if this happens in the middle of nowhere in Alabama, so to speak, the middle of nowhere, nobody's there. Regulators, other, environmental groups. Like, where are everybody? Where is it? Where's the help?
And that's the $1 million question. I mean, when you are in Congress, and whether it's a grant or an appropriation, you are supposed to oversee how the taxpayer dollars are spent. I mean, that's something that really upsets me. These people in government, they act like that's their money. That's our money. And so first of all, there's the oversight from the congressional office in there. From what we understand, the EPA has not overseen the individual projects, nor has the Alabama Department of Environmental Health.
But don't they have to get permits and things through them to do any of this?
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost the first
Yeah,
step.
you get, they do studies, they do get experts in. Every time somebody has to drive over from Montgomery, and the money just gets siphoned away. And look, I know people say what they want about education, but I could tell you where every pencil in the school was. And that is because when you work for a government entity, you're responsible for that taxpayers' dollars. So the oversight is a huge part of it. Another part of it to me is looking at what the problems are strategically and just throwing money. Like right now, Miss Sewell is throwing millions of dollars, our taxpayer dollars, around to buy votes. And a lot of the money that she's seemingly giving is nothing but grants, which have to be applied for. And grants are specific. They have to be used for certain things and certain things only. So my point is, we've got to make sure, like with the infrastructure, that if we're dealing with a sewage issue in a small town, that strategically we're getting grants and appropriations that actually fix the problems, and that somebody in our office is making sure the oversight is there. If it's out in the rural areas, like where the straight line piping is, we've been talking to people that travel all over the world that have found septic systems that will actually work in the Black Belt. You know why they call it the Black Belt? The ground.
The soil, yeah.
Yeah, the ground, but the ground is also as hard as this floor. It's like concrete. So
It doesn't,
a lot
doesn't
of
perk.
Yeah, a lot of the systems. So you can imagine when that sewage hits that ground, it doesn't go anywhere. It just sits there. And last week when I went, that was one. I mean, just the odor in itself was bad. But we know there are systems, and there are groups in Alabama that are working so hard to try to raise money and get these systems for these people. So, that, and we didn't even talk about roads.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
The corridor. You've heard of the corridor, the road to nowhere. I mean, up in Marion County, which is not in the district, but I'm going to talk about it because the corridor leads up through there into Memphis, with Mobile going to be the #1 port in the nation. We need that in 7. Well, over in Marion County, there are 2 bridges, beautiful extension bridges, just sitting there, no road leading to it. I'll send you a picture of it. And I've been told, I'm laughing, but it's not funny, told by engineers that by the time the highway gets there, they'll have to tear the bridges down.
Figured it'd be time to replace the bridges.
Yeah, and that's the kind of thing where our money at the federal level is being wasted. And I'm just done with that overall. I'm ready for transparency. I'm ready for honesty. These people are so infatuated with their title, their money. and it's not about your title and your money.
Now, what other aspects, let's say your closing argument against Terry Sewell, would you want to throw out here? We got a few more minutes left. So just ask the basic question, why should somebody consider voting for you over Terry Sewell?
Well, okay, let's look at things like the Freedom Index, which is based on the Constitution. Are you familiar with that?
Generally, yes.
Okay, Terry Sewell scores a 0. And some people might think, oh, well, big deal. Well, AOC scored a 33. So what I got it right here if you want to look at it. I mean, what's that? And then the type of campaigning I don't like, something was brought to our attention several months ago. Some people in Dothan started calling my campaign saying, did you know about Terry Sewell's brother? And I said, well, she's not her brother's keeper. Well, it started going south because apparently he was 41 years old, principal, and that kind of hits me as an educator. He had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old girl in the school. And he was caught, tried, but he was tried as a juvenile.
When he was 40?
When he was 41, yeah. And I'm like, she's still not her brother's keeper. But then he served 13 months. Now, I do know his certificate was revoked, which it's supposed to be.
Teaching certificate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He had a certificate in special education. I have a sister with cerebral palsy. With me being a former teacher, I have absolutely no tolerance for that. And you all have seen when people get caught in school districts doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then he moves to Birmingham and he gets a job at Miles College as director of counseling and mental health. Now, my question is, again, is she her brother's keeper? But she gives so much money to this school. And she is supposedly the champion of women's rights and, and all that. He doesn't have any business working around young people.
No.
But then he got put right back in a position where he is around young people. Now, my thing is, I want her to come out and make a statement about it. Did you know about it? Yeah, you knew she knew. She knew about that. Then find him a job away from young people. And so I question her judgment. I question her priorities. Her priorities are obviously, just from what I laid out, not in District 7. And that's one thing I do promise. I am going to take care of the people in the district, whether it's in Birmingham or whether it's way down in Choctaw County, Marengo County, Hale County, Perry County, Pickens County. All of these people deserve someone's undivided attention, and they'll get it from me.
You said at the beginning of us talking that you're campaign tired, but that's a good type of tired. And I've been doing this long enough where I've seen candidates on the front end and on the back end of, say, an election cycle. And it's very rare I see what I'm seeing with you. You really do seem affected by, everybody you change through a campaign. You meet a lot of people, but it seems like the things you've seen and learned, like you seem like a different person than when I met you a few months back.
Oh, I absolutely am, because now I'm in a position where I have spent so long with people in such poverty and in such need that I can't imagine not being able to do what needs to be done for them. And I told you, I think the difference in this race is people are really sick and tired of Terry Sewell not serving the district. You know, when you go and spend $10,000 of campaign money per weekend in Bel Air, you know,
Yeah.
what does that tell you? And I'll just say this last thing. When I was a principal, I wouldn't sit in anything any better than the poorest kids in my schools would sit in. I'm just, yeah.
We're going to be in the same boat together, no matter the.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you being here, Robin. If folks, because we're in less than a week away from Election Day, if folks want to kind of help you out on a final push, get the word out for your candidacy, your campaign, how can they do so?
We have a website, www.lydekerforcongress.com. Our Facebook page is Lydeker for Congress. Would love for you to go on and read the platforms that we have. And look, I don't ask people to vote for me. I think a vote's something you have to earn. So if you're out there and you live in District 7, I would love to earn your vote. And I can promise you I'll keep it.
Folks, Robin Lydeker. I appreciate the time, Robin.
Thank you.
More of the program when we come back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Make 2024 the year you break away from the chain stores and join us here at Adams Drugs. We value your business and want to provide you the best customer service at the lowest possible price. We've been serving up excellent customer service here in the River region for over 62 years.
I made the swap to Adams Drugs and I couldn't be happier. Having a job and then getting 3 kids to all of their activities keeps me busy. I don't have an hour to waste waiting on a prescription. At Adams, they know me and my family. I get in and out in minutes, and when I can't get by Adams, they'll bring the prescription right to my door.
What are you waiting for? Come in to Adams Drugs and let us earn your business. Our friendly and personal staff will talk with you and answer any questions you may have about your prescriptions. Your satisfaction is our #1 goal. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for the location nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local independent Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health, and they're at Montgomery Men's Health. You know what, Eddie? They're ready to help men out.
Yes, they are, Joey.
And it could be, you're cooking, but you're also seeing like I'm on a weight gain. You're wondering what's going on with me.
Something else could be there.
You could just go get a test.
Yeah.
Go sit down for a consultation. It's pretty cheap, too.
$99, right?
$99. And you'll get a testosterone-focused lab workup, also a PSA score, which is a great marker for prostate health, without it being that invasive of a procedure, if you know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And, of course, if you are experiencing symptoms of low T, which is lack of energy and drive, but like physically you're tired, mentally you're tired, you feel like you're walking through your life in a fog, like you're stumping, trudging through mud every day, well, get that test done. And if you do have low T, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change lives. Men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Yeah, what Robin Leidiger was telling us about, it's not a new problem. I think it predates Terry Sewell.
Oh, no doubt.
And I think there is something about the way our districts are drawn. And I know I'm a city boy now preaching, I guess, rural folks. But how often do, say, rural concerns really get addressed? Now, we have a history of senators from the state trying to look out. But generally speaking, if you want to win, say, a certain district, you go to where the votes are.
Right.
And if, all this geography over here doesn't have that many votes, well, we'll throw them a bone, and then all the poverty industrial complex will pick at all the meat off that bone before it actually reaches the folks it's meant to help. We'll be started on that. But it really is.
It's frustrating, man.
Really is messed up. I almost said something worse.
Well, just like the internet connection. Remember all that money they're going to spend on getting internet in the Black Belt?
Yeah.
Elon Musk says, hey, I could have saved you half or more if you just bought it from me, and it would already be done. This is a problem with the government. Too much BS in the way. And like I said, the money was given. Why wasn't the project completed? Oh, well, we just sucked that money dry.
Yeah, right.
Like driving out there and driving back.
Well, and if you're talking about grants, do you think these local folks have grant offices? People that know how to work that?
No.
It's a stark reality of how this nation seems to work. 272-9228. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys.
Hey, Robert.
Hey, Robert.
Joey, Eddie, I know. Thank y'all for letting me on. I just want to say there's two different medias, but Donald Trump just gave a speech, and I just say it was a master class. Very damn good. And then one of the things that's in the media right now is that comedian that said something.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe.
I watched that whole. Okay, go ahead, Joy.
Yeah, Tony Hinchcliffe. Keep going.
Oh, okay. What I'm just saying is, I liked it. I liked all of it, but I know my voice is loud, but I'm just saying I liked him. And then I just want to look at his joke and to see the response to his joke is the first part of the joke is there's a lot of trash out in the ocean. Didn't we just do about $1 trillion in global cleaning?
Yeah. The
You
Pacific.
see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But that's the first part of the joke. The second part of the joke is he called it that island, right? And then the other side, they just want to plead horrible, bloody murder over that when we all know that island has been through hell. It has been through hell. You know why? Because the hurricanes go across it all the time.
Right.
But this is the last thing I want to say. Well, it's not the last thing. I'll keep talking forever. But they're the ones that's been in charge. That's why the comedian said it.
Well,
And, I don't know if that's why he said it. I'm not putting words in his mouth, but
yeah, he
I
said it
am
because he's a
crucial.
roast comedian and he likes to roast
what he does.
everybody. It's what he does. But I appreciate the call, Robert.
Thanks, Robert. See you, bud.
272-9228. Now, to response to this, Trump's lost the Puerto Rican vote. Oh, no.
I didn't.
No, he didn't. Actually, this was at a Trump rally. It's sort of their honorary or shadow U.S. senator from Puerto Rico speaking at a Trump rally. So I'll let her just speak for herself.
My name is Zoraida Buxo, and I am the Republican United States Shadow Senator from a beautiful island where I was born and raised. Indeed, a community very well anchored with steadfast conservative values of family, faith, economic freedom, and deep, deep love of country. Blessed by God, that is home. That is Puerto Rico. So we won't get rattled. We won't yield to ignorance, foolishness, or irrational thoughtlessness. We will remain focused on what is really important.
Right.
We all share a desire for change for the good. The course that our nation has been wrongfully placed by the Biden-Harris administration must be reversed. Failed policies in the economy and energy production that have driven up your cost of living and that have you struggling every month to pay your bills. Failed policies in matters of border security, law enforcement, immigration that have caused a great deal of chaos, a surge in violent crime across the nation, drug smuggling, and that have you feeling unsafe and unprotected. That is the record of Kamala Harris as border czar and VP for the last almost 4 years in power. I feel your pain. I'm with you. The crisis that our nation is going through is not a result of natural disaster. It's a direct consequence of the actions and omissions of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There are close to 6 million Puerto Ricans stateside, in addition to the 3.2 million American citizens that live on the island. And nearly 500,000 have made the Keystone State their home state. We are part of the Hispanic American force of 65 million.
Keystone State is Pennsylvania. That's where she's speaking.
We Hispanics are part of the soul of this country. We have made a difference, and we will again make a difference in this coming election to bring about much needed change.
Yeah. No, see, and so like I played a little bit of that because you hear the.
But don't you remember when the hurricane came through there and Trump was the devil? And then Trump
Yeah, because he did the whole like thing with the paper towels.
The only people that were upset were people that didn't live in Puerto Rico. I mean,
it's just so.
It's fake.
There's such a disconnect. Such a disconnect. 272-9228. Let's see if this is on one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Jerry. How you doing, Joey?
Good. How you doing, Jerry?
Listen, you had that lady on there with talking about Terry Sewell.
Yeah.
I live in her. She's supposed to represent me, and I was hearing things about the Build Back America thing, and I thought, well, I'll call my representative, which is to me was logical at the time. So I called the local number. And they were very polite, took my name, number, and all that stuff, and was going to send me an update on Build Back America, which is what I was asking for. Waited a couple weeks, didn't get nothing. So then I called the Washington, D.C. number. Very polite, took my name and number. They've done nothing. This has been 6 months. They just... They don't. They promise. They don't. Just give you, I guess, a handshake over the phone and don't do anything else. And it's maddening. And I don't understand how anybody can be that I mean, I wasn't asking for state secrets or anything, just to ask about Build Back America was.
Right, which is something they'd probably be happy to talk about, like you would think.
I thought so, until I called them. But they don't return phone calls. They're very, to heck with you, vote for me in November. That's about the message they send. And I just how anybody votes for that person when they don't do anything is beyond my imagination. But anyhow, I look forward to voting for her, and we'll go from there. But Terry Sewell is just absolutely as close to zero as you can be.
Well, I appreciate you calling that in, Jerry, and I'm
thank you,
sorry
Jerry.
you had to experience that. You did the right move calling the local office, and they usually are pretty receptive, but it sounds like they're polite to a fault in a way.
Yeah, their fault is they don't follow up.
Yep.
So, thank you, buddy.
Appreciate it, Jerry.
See you, Jerry.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. Now, get this for a headline.
Yeah.
From Axios, who, by the way, when Biden called Trump supporters garbage, they and the New York Times and a few others said that it appeared Biden called Trump people garbage. It appeared.
No, it sounded like it, and appeared if you read his mouth.
No, he said it. And the way Axios quoted it in their story was inaccurate, based on the actual video. So it's just like add more to this. But the headline here at Axios, see if this gets gets you going. Congress gripped by fears. Fears of what? By fears of post-election violence.
Welcome to my world.
Lawmakers in both parties are bracing themselves for a tumultuous period after the November 5th election, with many openly expressing fears of political violence. Democrats in particular see it as virtually inevitable that Trump will challenge the election results if he loses, raising the specter of nationwide civil unrest or even a repeat of the January 6th attack. One House Democrat told Axios they are extremely concerned about violence and hired a half dozen state troopers to provide security at their election night event, a significant boost over past years. Republicans, on the other hand, claim the real threat will be from the political left being unable to accept another Trump term. Federal and local law enforcement are already ramping up security across D.C. ahead of the election. The Secret Service confirmed to Axios that security enhancements have been made to the Capitol in the run-up to the certification of the presidential election on January 6, including fencing being erected around the Capitol complex. Representative Greg Landsman, a Democrat from Ohio, told Axios that when Congress left for recess in September, what I saw in terms of security was unprecedented. The Capitol Police turned heads Monday night by performing a casualty evacuation exercise that involved landing 3 helicopters on the east front of the Capitol. In discussions with more than a dozen House Democrats, virtually all expressed some degree of fear about the possibility of post-election violence. Members are talking amongst ourselves about making sure people are safe, making sure their families are safe, and what the protocols and procedures are, said Annie Kuster, a representative Democrat from New Hampshire. But Republicans voiced similar concerns. Predicted Democrats would be the perpetrators of violence, particularly around a potential Trump inauguration. Troy Nehls, a Republican representative from Texas, said governors should have their National Guard units ready to go on a moment's notice to quell any type of civil unrest, and that they better have the Capitol locked down on Inauguration Day. Representative Jim Banks, Republican from Indiana, cited rioting during Trump's inauguration in 2017. Representative Don Bacon, now that's a name, Republican from Nebraska, said he suspects the likelihood of violence is higher if Trump wins. We saw on January 20th, 2017. Now, while most members' fears were focused on January 6th, some also expressed worries about the days after November 5th, when some key presidential swing states are likely to remain uncalled as votes are counted. Why? Why are they likely to remain uncalled? Why? You had 4 years to fix this crap. 4 years. Makes me think you're doing it on purpose, that you don't want to fix it. The system is working how you've designed it, how you want it to work. Why? Why is it going to remain uncalled? You got very big, populous states that call it pretty dadgum quick. Why? And just all of this seems like the priming of the pump by the very responsible corporate press. Oh, well. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Simpler Days.
Hey, Simpler Days. How you doing?
Well, if the Republicans right, they will be dealt with swiftly. But if the Democrats, the somewhat peaceful protesters, protest, they won't be dealt with swiftly. As we know from the summer of burning, looting, murdering, and sieging, just taking over whole blocks of cities and attempting to burn down a brand new federal courthouse. Those were all somewhat peaceful protesters. So I'm sure they will be labeled the same if something happens.
Well, I want to see like a Netflix series about like love in the middle of protest or something. Protest of love, where it's like a guy and gal meet in the middle of a fiery but peaceful protest, and they like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of potential for a rom-com out of this.
Sounds like some of those love-in 60s peace, love protests of that day.
Well, or it could be like a modern day Les Mis, like she's an OnlyFans online thing, and like all the fallout from that, and the other guy just got out of prison. Of course, he was unjustly in prison. Like, I think we got the makings of. They're going to do amazing narrative building, no matter which way this goes. It did happen last time.
You know what amazes me, Joey, is the Congresswoman Terry Sewell. Her home base there is in the Selma area, and you go over there, and it looks like time, lost. It's been forgotten. It never changes. And you'd think after all of the marches and all of the, the big wigs that come in every year but you go through Selma, and I mean, the police station looks like it was built in the 30s, 40s, never has changed. The downtown district is just, I mean, it's sad.
Yeah.
And you'd think with all of the people that have come in there and all of the money people, that she would have passed the hat to get some funding. But they're going to have charging stations, in Union Station down through 80. They're going to have charging stations. And, I mean, if you ride through there, that's not what those people need. It's not charging stations.
Well, and I think also, and this applies to areas where they're in abject poverty in this nation, but I think it also applies to areas where they're sitting pretty, but they've lost this idea. Well, they believe that wealth is what makes a difference. Money makes a difference. And it's like, no, you dopes. It's the capacity to create wealth. Like, it's not about moving paper around and scratching your buddy's back or doing God's know what in the back room to seal the deal. It's actually about, are you productive and can you create wealth and opportunity rather than divvying up pieces of the pie. And some reason, I think at the highest levels, elite levels, to folks really struggling, we've lost that sense in this country, sadly.
Well, have a good day, Joey.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Simpler Days. 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're at Pest Pro. Ashley and that team are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. Could be you've got a quick emergency job, maybe getting ready for a big Halloween party. I don't know. Maybe you're doing it this week and after Halloween. It's like post-Halloween celebration. I don't know your schedule. Or it could be you're just looking for like a great local pest control company that can be your everyday pest control company. That is Pest Pro Services. Not only are they skilled professionals, they're great folks to work with, easy to work with, your neighbors. Local folks, so when you're spending money with them, that's going back into the local economy. So call them up today at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team that Joey and Eddie over here sent you. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money?
Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest.
You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist?
That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, serving the river region with the best quality building materials for decades. Contractor to do-it-yourselfer. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Hi, everybody. I think clouds will gradually erode away, and we work into mostly sunny skies later with a high temperature up to about 84. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very mild. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. And for Halloween tomorrow, a very warm day with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine. We'll be in the 70s during the trick-or-treat hours. The overnight low temperature is Thursday night, 62. Friday and Saturday, the month of November starts warm and dry with high temperatures up to about 86 both days. I've got us around 84 and still dry Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Want to take the price of new flooring and tear it in half? You can during Prattville Carpet's biggest sale of the year, going on right now. Save 50% on select luxury vinyl plank and select carpets in stock. Stop into the store to register to win a brand new quartz countertop up to 75 feet until November 20th. No purchase necessary.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Shop now and save big at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACB.
How you conduct yourself in a democracy?
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Why is there a paper plate on the ground behind me?
Somebody's playing Frisbee.
Yeah, we call that Frisbee in the heart of Dixie here.
Yes, we do.
He referred to it as Dixie. Goodness gracious.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the phones and talk to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Hey, Joey, I wanted to see if you could sometimes in the next few days go over the list of, I think they call them the amendments.
Mm-hmm.
That my eyes have got totally blind now, and I found there's a lot of blind folks, that want to go down and vote, and I get my son to mark the ballot as to which ones that you think deserve a yes. And so if you could kind of let us know which to vote for.
Of course. And James, it's great to hear from you. We haven't talked to you in a long time.
Good to hear your voice, James.
it's kind of embarrassing being totally blind. I don't think I think as well as I did when I could see and had something interesting to say. But I appreciate listening to y'all every day and enjoying it.
Well, it really is great to hear from you, James. And feel free anytime you want to chat. We're happy to do it.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you, James.
272-9228. And yeah, I haven't honestly even looked into all the amendments on there for the general election. I think they're right now, from what I'm seeing at the Secretary of State's office, just looking at this in real time, looks like there's one. So we'll get into it. Let's go to Papa B. Papa B.
Joey, did you just fall out of a coconut tree?
It's like, hey, Aunt Becky, Aunt Kamala, you're drunk again. Go away. Stop mixing your Klonopin with the wine. It doesn't.
It doesn't work.
That's what you do when you're 23. Get an adult addiction. Dadgummit.
I'm still going to look this weekend. I'm going to say Friday, maybe Saturday, for some kind of something to drop. Who knows if I'm right or not. I guess we'll just have to see. But I think that we're going to have, if there is going to be some kind of big news thing that will suck up all the news cycle for the next 2 or 3 days afterwards, it's going to happen Friday, Saturday, that kind of time frame. So I got a more important question for you.
All right.
What is the most embarrassing Halloween costume you ever had to wear or ever did wear? Let me tell you what mine is.
Okay, yeah, because I'm not thinking of one, but you go first.
All right, so when I have 2 brothers. I'm the oldest, okay? And my brother was just like doorstep, type children, kids, birthday-wise. When I was 6 years old, and of course going on 7 actually, my mother decided it would be a great idea to dress us up as Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Oh my.
That's pretty rough.
I'm telling you.
We would have stole your candy. In Highland Gardens, we'd have stole your candy.
I mean, we went to the, how they used to have a county fair everywhere, 4-H and stuff like that. That's where she drug us off to. It was, and there was like a prize. We won the prize.
Oh, I bet you did.
Oh yeah. We were definitely prize
Wait,
winners.
which one were you? Snap, Crackle, or Pop?
I was Snap. First I was the oldest. I was Snap. Snap. He made us wear freaking leotard, dude. I'm telling you. I mean, the pictures. I want to burn them. I don't even want to think.
Did you actually go door to door in that outfit?
No.
Okay, good God.
It was just the county fair thing, but that was bad enough. Everybody in the whole town saw us.
And what year are we talking here? Like,
66.
Yeah, and so if it's 1966, I can see like some like dad, say somebody in his 40s in 1966, being like, "So what are you supposed to be? Some fruitcake or something?"
Oh yeah. Well, my dad, of course, he was against it. Totally.
Good for him.
I would to God she had listened to it. No, she was bound and determined. I guess they were at that stage of marriage where it's like you just let the wife do what she wants to do, kind of thing. And later on, when the kids get grown, you just say, "Well, that crap with all that." No, that don't work anymore.
Now I'll keep trying to jog my memory. Nothing's coming to mind. I remember being a ninja one year, but that seemed to be pretty cool.
A Ninja Turtle, or
just a ninja?
I would have much rather been a ninja than Snap, Crackle, and Pop.
Right.
There's no doubt.
Right. Well, I got to run here, Papa V. We'll try to come up with some more. Thanks, man. Good story. Let's go to Michael Cohen from Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
So what's the score there today, Cohen?
Today the score is 21-3. We've had we've had a lot of customers. It seems like there's a lot of people having internet issues, and they've gone out and they bought some cheap Wi-Fi deals for their home. Some of the brands we've heard of, some of them we haven't. But at any rate, they've had those, and they've had them for 6 months to a year, and they're ready to upgrade. And so anyway, we've got Michael Jack scheduled to go out and actually sell them something nice.
Nice.
It should give them better service and better range and better coverage. And, you know, I think a lot of people don't understand how much stuff you actually have on your Wi-Fi system, because, I mean, we all have smartphones and smartwatches and iPads and computers and smart TVs and smart Blu-ray players and Sonos equipment, and, you know, and then your friends come over and they've got phones and watches, and everything's on your network. And, you know, the better the stuff that you get, the better components are going to give you better service, are going to give you better speeds for all of those devices. And just because everybody's over there, it shouldn't get bogged down like it would.
Well, so you can provide like the latest, because sometimes Wi-Fi is like, I think to some people, maybe sometimes even it's like magic. Like, why isn't it working today?
Yep.
Am I holding my mouth wrong?
Well, that's right. That's right. And a lot of times people can do a little speed test, and you can't just do a speed test, because every company that you do a speed test with has got it set up so that once it realizes it's a speed test, it gives you everything. But then when you're trying to stream Netflix on your television, you're bogged down.
Right.
So you've kind of got to do real world tests as opposed to just the speed test.
Well, and of course, that's where the great service there at Cohen's comes in. And of course, they got the latest to help you out in that regard, too, in terms of devices. You can always shop from home at thinkcohens.com. But I really encourage you to stop by the showroom, 119 Browns, or excuse me, I was thinking of Dale Murray.
No.
My God, I need more sleep. 2515 Eastern Boulevard, right there on the boulevard, where you've been for decades now. 2515 Eastern Boulevard. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And be sure to tell Michael that you heard him on the air here with Joey and Eddie. Any embarrassing Halloween costumes come to mind?
You know, as kids, we lived out in the country. And so when we went trick-or-treating, we rode horses.
That's kind of cool.
That's cool.
And that was fun.
Yeah.
And we were dressed up as ghosts. Okay. And as kids, that was all fun. But, you know, as you get to be an adult, you're like, could have been the Klan.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we don't do that today. but you know, as kids, you're all innocent. And you know, you just worried about who's giving you candy.
Yeah.
Where's the Snicker bars? So we don't want to be hangry. But that was about it for us. And living out in the country, that's, you know, my mom wasn't getting in the car to take us everywhere. So it was either bicycles or horses.
There you go. Well, I appreciate it as always, Michael.
All right. Y'all have a great day.
You too.
Thank you, buddy.
272-9228. Let's go to Oz. Hello, Oz.
How are you guys doing today?
Pretty good. How you doing?
I'm great. So, this wasn't actually my costume, but I went to a party when I was in X-ray school, and there was a friend of mine. He had a fedora on. He had a long trench coat, and he had a name badge, and it said Private Investigator, Richard Cranium. I'll leave that with you right there.
Nice.
Nice. Joey, what I want to ask you is, have you seen the Robert F. Kennedy Jr. video where he's saying that Trump came and spoke to him and said that he was not sure how to govern the first time he won, and he had hired lobbyists for all these different, appointed lobbyists for all these different areas of government. And Kennedy said, he looked at me and said, I've learned my lesson. This won't happen again. So I'm confident. I'm kind of like Eddie. I'm confident. I think a lot of people have realized what the issues are and that Trump can resolve a number of those issues if he's given the backing and support. But I think he's going to clear a lot of these people out when he gets in. And don't let Kamala, Joe, whomever tell you that they're scared of him. They're not scared of his rhetoric. They're not scared of his policies. They're scared he's going to take their power and their money. That's what they're scared of.
Amen. I don't think I've
power and money.
I don't think I've seen that particular video, but I've heard that same story time and time again. I've heard Trump himself. He said it on Rogan. That's one of the mistakes I made. I trusted a lot of people because I didn't know anybody in Washington.
Right.
And so I think you're right. This time around, he knows a little more. He knows where he wants to go with the power of the presidency. And you're, I think, 100% spot on. This is why they're truly fearful of him.
Yeah. So we've all got to get out there. If we love this country, we've got to go and vote. And my wife's kind of, she came in last night and said she's worried. She saw a lot of TikTok saying that Harris was ahead. I don't believe it for a minute. I believe that Trump's had so much early voting. I believe Republicans have stepped up and had done a lot of early voting. And I feel like this is going to be a turning point for the country. Y'all take care, man.
Thank you, Oz.
Yeah, I think those same people on TikTok are saying the Dwayne Wade statue is like the spitting image of the man.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
What's up with statues?
I know,
Why can't
man.
They look like the person it's supposed
Look
to
at
emulate.
that one. They're like,
oh, it's awful. It's
Cristiano Ronaldo.
It's awful.
Doesn't look like Ronaldo.
No. And they're like, oh, this is artistic impression. No, you just suck at being a sculptor. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I can do that.
I'm just presenting what I see with mine own eye.
Right. Well, you need some glasses.
Yeah, emphasis on the singular. Your one eye.
But I mean, the statues that have been coming out here
What
lately.
did Tennessee Williams sculpt this? Like, what is this? Anyway, this part of the program, this entire hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And there at Alabama Home Mortgage, Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you, whether you're looking to buy a home. And there's nobody better. If you're looking for a great local company that can walk with you every step of the way from pre-approval all the way to the closing day, that's Alabama Home Mortgage. But what a lot of folks are thinking about right now is a refinance deal.
Yep.
And it could be you've been on the fence for a while, on the bubble, as they say, and you're still there. I'm going to go wait till Trump wins, honey. I'm going to wait till Trump. Okay, before Trump wins, call up Alabama Home Mortgage, get a plan together. At least let them get to know you. You get to know them. They get to know your goals in refinancing your home. They'll let you know if this is the right time for you.
Get those first steps out of the way.
Exactly. It's just a phone call. 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender. Why am I so tired today, Eddie?
I know.
I don't know. Thought I slept good. I guess not. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. The Clark County Auditor in Southwest Washington State says about 475 damaged ballots were retrieved from a ballot box that was burned early Monday. Incendiary devices damaged and destroyed hundreds of ballots at a drop box in Vancouver, Washington, and damaged 3 ballots at a box in Portland, Oregon, in what officials decried as an attack on democracy before Election Day. Philippine police say 3 suspects in the kidnapping of an American in the country's south have now been arrested, and they believe that the victim, 26-year-old Elliot O'Neill Eastman of Vermont, is still alive. Yanks win Game 4 of the World Series, 11-4. Game 5 tonight in New York. L.A. leads 3-1. The Dow up 16 points, the Nasdaq losing 45. This is SRN News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where dump truck drivers are in demand. Wiley Sanders is on the grow. We need dump truck drivers now. Call 855-77-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. I think clouds will gradually erode away, and we work into mostly sunny skies later with a high temperature up to about 84. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very mild. Overnight low temperature down to about 64. And for Halloween tomorrow, a very warm day with a high around 86. Good bit of sunshine. We'll be in the 70s during the trick-or-treat hours. The overnight low temperature is Thursday night, 62. Friday and Saturday, the month of November starts warm and dry with high temperatures up to about 86 both days. I've got us around 84 and still dry Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
1819 News.
Reaction is now coming in from Alabama Senator Tommy Tuberville after Joe Biden called Trump supporters garbage in a phone call he had with a Hispanic advocacy group.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable.
Biden called Trump supporters floating garbage after a comedian, Tony Hinchcliffe, made a joke about Puerto Rico and its garbage problems while he was delivering a humorous speech at the Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. Tuberville has now gone on social media saying that this statement from Biden shows what he and Kamala Harris both think about Americans, that they hate you, and they aren't trying to hide it anymore. Tuberville says that America needs a real leader that loves the country like Donald Trump. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
On November 15th, you can have dinner with Eric Metaxas right here in Alabama. Metaxas, the author of Bonhoeffer and Letter to the American Church, will keynote 1819 News' first annual Albert Patterson Gala on November 15th at the Barber Motorsports Event Center in Birmingham. To learn more and sponsor a table, visit 1819news.com/gala. Again, that's Eric Metaxas on November 15th. Go to 1819news.com/gala to learn more.
3 former executives for Austal USA are seeking a dismissal of the criminal charges filed against them. The attorneys for Craig Perciavalle, Joseph Runkle, and William Adams were in court before a federal judge, arguing that a prior ruling coming from the U.S. Supreme Court on fraud statutes should lead to the dismissal of this case. The 3 executives are charged with misleading investors with inflated valuations of the company's worth. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hey, y'all, Lewis at the Capitol Oyster Bar over here on that beautiful Alabama River where we cook up that fresh seafood for you. We got a fryer, a steamer, and a grill. Let's talk about the menu a little bit. If you hadn't ever been down here, let me tell you, we got some alligator, got catfish, whole catfish, and filet catfish. That's some good eating right there. Also got some more good food from the river over here. We got you some frog legs, that's right. Something you won't find everywhere every day. We'll cook you up some big old fat frog legs for you. That's some good stuff. Check it all out at CapitolOysterBar.com. You'll see our menu on there. We'll cook cook you up a good old ribeye. Always got a pot of gumbo going. You also see you can rent you a pontoon boat down here, man, on these pretty days out on the river. All you need is a driver's license and a credit card, a little common sense, and a day on the river is an easy thing to do down here. Also got you a great show lined up this week. The Josh Garrett Band's back in town. That's a killer show. You know you've seen Josh. He's played here a few times before. Get down here soon. Come hungry. Don't forget, we're going to cook you up some good food. We're going to have a good time. Showtime 4 o'clock Sunday afternoon. See you soon.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's Conversational Radio Show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Hold on to your butts.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. Final hour here on a... I think there's a thing I took that affected my sleep. That it made me relax, but I think it really affected my REM.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah, seriously. I'm like, why am I so...
Make you lose
I'm
your
turning into a joke. Well, I'm not a joke.
Joey, you're getting at the age now. You can't just take drugs and expect them to...
No, this is
like
like
you're in your
something...
20s.
This is like a relaxation.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying, though. It's not. You're not in your 20s
I'm not talking
anymore.
about like weed gummies.
No, that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm just saying right now, in general, medication at your age, you're getting older. It's going to affect you a little different.
Yeah.
My buddy one time at Hyundai, he took a vitamin for an elderly person.
A vitamin for
Just
an elderly
literally
person.
a vitamin. It made his
Like
blood-
Centrum Silver?
That's it. That's it. I could not think of the name, but it made his blood pressure spike. He ended up
Wow.
going to medical, and they sent him home. And
You
the
also
whole
watch
lecture,
out for that Allegra D.
The whole lecture we got from medical was, why did y'all take Centrum Silver? He's like, I just bought some vitamins. I'm trying to live better. It's like, you're in your 30s. You
I'm
don't
an
need to be
AG1
taking-
guy. I go with Athletic Greens every morning.
Yeah?
Better than taking a bunch of pills.
How do you do that? Blend them?
Shake it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
We got some folks commenting.
Guzzle it, wouldn't you shake it?
No, I don't. No, you
Shoot it?
shake it and then you drink it, and I actually take some mushroom stuff and
Oh, it's like shrooms now.
probiotic.
So shrooms is part of our daily, huh?
Yeah, lion's mane.
Are we microdosing? Is that what we're doing?
No,
I mean,
you would
just-
notice that.
Well, I mean, you just came
It's
out.
like, he's especially happy today. Leslie York says, hi, I listen on and off. It should be always on, Leslie.
I think so.
And created a channel just to chat with your show. She's a good-looking lady. Hello, Leslie.
Okay.
What?
Just be careful, Joey.
What do you mean, be careful? Don't you shut your mouth when
I'm
you're
just
talking
telling you to
me.
be careful. Just telling you to be careful.
Don't make me put Gumtown John's comment about your ghost story. Do you want to see it? You going to
Go
be all
ahead.
sensitive
No,
about it?
I am. I can't. This is what happens when I share. I'm sorry. I'm a real person.
Let's be honest here, Gumtown John said about 2 hours ago. Eddie caught his parents in the act.
No, that's a whole nother story.
And they made...
I had to do a lot of psychotherapy.
And he was told it was a ghost.
No.
Ooh. Ooh.
No. My parents learned to put a lock on the door. You got 5 kids.
Ooh. It's a ghost.
It made no sound, man. It's just like a gas thing. Just making it worse.
Oh. MSS said, hope James will call more. Yeah. Me too. Good to hear from James.
Yeah.
Red Mustang just asking, could it be that I guess he means Biden, was referring to comedian Tony Hinchcliffe's followers? No. I don't think Biden knows who Tony Hinchcliffe
I don't think
is.
he knows, yeah.
But somebody should show him Adam Ray doing Joe Biden.
That would be all. He would probably think that's his twin. That's my brother.
It's so funny, man.
That is great. I haven't seen him do it in a while either, since Madison Square
You
Garden.
know, we did a new character, Jeremy.
Yeah,
I liked it.
Did
I
you?
thought it was hilarious.
Joey.
I thought it was so funny. Because there was a send up of so many people to try to hop on that show.
Agreed. I mean, I get
But
that
it was
part,
very
but,
funny.
Yeah, you got old in like 10 minutes.
But do you know fake Dr. Phil, Adam Ray, is going to be sitting down doing a Dr. Phil live with Dr. Phil.
No,
on Netflix.
That's what I've been dreaming.
It's going to be on Netflix.
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
I'm glad
It's gonna be
Dr.
a
Phil
lot of
gets
fun.
it. I'm glad he gets it because, a lot of people don't appreciate that kind of humor at all.
Right. Yeah, I don't think Biden was referring to specifically Kill Tony fans.
Hey, by the way,
But there's probably a big overlap between that and Trump support.
notice Biden's ears when he became president, they were like Dumbo ears, but now they're pinned back to his head like he's always doing Mach 5.
Yeah, the skin suit's getting loose. They had to tighten it up.
Yeah. You're okay with that? That doesn't make you go, hey.
I'm not
what's going on?
okay with it, but I don't have any control over it.
No, just no.
Let's go to James. Hey, James, how you doing?
Okay, Joey.
What?
REM. That's rapid eye movement. We're
Yes.
still talking about, unless we're talking about the group, right?
Reading
REM.
English and
Rapid eye
mathematics.
movement.
Right.
So it's affecting your dream time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I have this
Okay.
little tracker, and it tracks
Oh, yeah.
the different phases of sleep. Yeah.
All right. Well, you understand RAS, right?
No.
That's reticular activating system. That's what allows you to be woken up.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have stimuli, whether it be external or internal, then your RAS, when it is overloaded with this stimuli, you come out of your sleep pattern and you are awake.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, here's a question for you, Joey. Are you presently asleep or are you awake?
No, he's awake. You wouldn't dress like that in your sleep.
How would I dress in my sleep?
Very Prince-like, very...
I did have this in
See?
Halloween. You know what? Him asking about bad Halloween brought up not a Halloween thing. I remember I went when I got real lazy, like I was like 11, 12.
Right, as you get older, yeah. Just want the candy.
I just put on football pads and like a Buccaneers jersey. Like, I'm work done. Give me the candy. 28 Buccaneers, work done. Great running back.
Right.
But then there was a phase. There was a fedora phase. Very early in high school. It didn't
Was it
last
only
long.
during Halloween?
No, it wasn't during
Oh,
Halloween.
Joey.
Yeah. It's like, I'm going to look different and cool.
Well, at least you thought so.
Yeah, I look back now and it's like,
No, I had those.
what are you supposed to be? Some fruitcake?
Yeah, those nerd
Yeah.
faces. Yeah.
It happens.
I remember one time, me and Charlie Shaddix, probably the last time we ever trick-or-treated, we were about 13. This old lady answered the door on Molina Avenue, and she said, "You're big enough to wrestle a bear." Oh, so you don't need to be trick-or-treating no more. That was it. Yes, ma'am. That was that. I'm thinking it was like you. We didn't even really try hard. I probably got some charcoal and rubbed it on my face. Ooh, I'm a hobo.
If this is a dream, damn, that sucks.
If it's a dream, why are you dreaming about me?
I know. And this is why I say it's like, it's a ghost. Let's go to line 4. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, Joey, it's Bill.
Hey, Bill. How you doing?
Hey, Bill.
I'm great. Hey, Eddie. So, I got a question for y'all guys. How many people are going to vote next Tuesday?
Millions.
I'm guessing, well, last time, I think it was 178.5 million that voted. I'm betting we're closer to 190 million this time.
Oh,
wow.
So you think bigger turnout than 2020?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the only way the Dems can steal.
I see where you're going with this.
I don't know. I'm at the point of...
I don't think 178 million voted last time.
Right.
I mean, if they did, what happened to the 300,000 votes that disappeared in Alabama? What happened to the 190,000 that disappeared in Pennsylvania? So, I find it interesting that not many people are talking about that and not thinking about how many are going to vote this time. Because the voter rolls is definitely enlarged. There's probably 30 to 50 million people that have walked across that border.
Oh, no doubt about that.
So,
well, and everybody's
a lot
tracking this early voting process, and I'm just at the point of let's just wait. Let's just wait.
I'm at the point of this.
Because it's like, or are you eating into your day off? It's like, no, nerds, go away, nerds. Go away.
I think y'all ought to run a contest and let people call in and say what they think the total vote's going to be. Get a sponsor to give a meal or something for the one that gets the closest.
Well, good idea, Bill.
Yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Y'all have a great day.
You too.
I think Bill's on to something.
If we get a sponsor to give a meal, I'm hungry.
You're always hungry.
Yeah, and?
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Hey, there we go.
You know, J.D. Vance said a really cool thing on Tim Dillon's podcast that he's all about, he wasn't back in the day a Ron Paul guy, but he's got friends that are Ron Paul guys, and he's come around to a lot of Ron Paul's thinking.
I would think they would be somewhat alike. There would be a lot of similarities.
Well, let's listen in to the one, the only Peter St. On, saying J.D. Vance goes Ron Paul on the Fed. Ooh, let's listen in.
Last week, J.D. Vance gave an interview saying he's, quote, come around to the Ron Paul argument on the Fed. After Donald Trump endorsed abolishing the income tax last week, going Ron Paul on the Fed is some pretty heady stuff for the leading ticket in a U.S. presidential election. Now, Ron Paul, of course, views the Fed as a corrupt instrument bribed into existence by elite banks that siphons capital from the people and directs it to the elite and, above all, to the government.
Correct.
While as a possibly intentional side effect, whipsawing the economy into perpetual cycles of inflation and recession, where the only thing you can count on is everything will get more expensive. Now, I'm not sure if Vance has read Ron Paul's End the Fed or Murray Rothbard's The Case Against the Fed, but he clearly understands the results of the Fed's redistribution of wealth, that it gives big business preferential access to capital, cheap loans, that they use to buy up the entire country from market share to smaller competitors to the part that bothers J.D. Vance, houses. Vance notes that if you have to borrow at 7% on your mortgage, but BlackRock gets money for 1.5%, they will get the house you will rent. This has been a growing problem throughout the Fed's low-rate era that started with the 2008 bank bailouts. Because low rates are a kind of permanent bank bailout, it has snowballed to where, according to Realtor.com, big investors now buy over 15% of homes bought in the U.S. In states like Arizona, it's closer to 1 in 3.
Damn.
And according to another study by Redfin, this is absolutely about preferential access to loans. Redfin found that investors bought about 1 in 7 high-priced homes, but they bought fully 1 in 4 low-priced and starter homes.
Damn.
In other words, they are bidding families out of the market, but they're especially outbidding poor families. Of course, the problem is much bigger than houses. Subsidized Fed money drives industry concentration as small guys drop out and big companies gobble up their market share. So small towns in America used to have mom-and-pop diners. Now they have a Burger King. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. I think JD is still early in the journey, but the obvious solution is end the Fed, or at least get the Fed out of the business of setting interest rates and manipulating them below market. Because today, the Fed has 2 main jobs: bailing out banks, or ensuring the stability of the financial system, and setting interest rates. In theory, it sets interest rates to the big brain optimal trade-off between inflation and growth, a permanent firefighter using an elastic currency as lubricant for our economy. In reality, of course, the Fed is not the firefighter, it is the arsonist, driving money as cheap as possible to feed inflation, then whiplashing to savage rate hikes when the inflation blows up in its face, as just happened. Given the vast majority of money borrowed in America, about 85%, goes to government, corporations, and the richest 10%, that means subsidized loans amount to a permanent trillion-dollar siphon from the 90% of the people to the elite. Of course, this is why central banks were created ever since the Bank of England, which was founded as a counterfeiting cartel in return for cheap loans to government. It's also why the Fed was founded, to siphon wealth to Wall Street and to the government. And it will not stop until the Fed loses their interest rate monopoly and ideally loses their license to print. Okay, We'll be watching. See you next time.
I just agree 100%, but we'll see. We'll see. There are, though, more and more people in Congress signing up on this idea on the Senate side and the House side.
I'm good, but in my industry, what he's saying is true.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating.
Yeah.
And honestly, unless someone steps up, leadership steps up, it's going to get worse.
272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. This part of the program brought to you by All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical. And they're at All Pro, they need to check out that heating system for you as we change into the cooler season. And it might be that time of the year where you're running both the AC and the heating.
Yep, depends on what time of day it is.
So the HVAC system is running overtime. And if it's making any noise at all, yeah, you might want to check it out. If it's straining itself, you need to get a checkup on it. Or it could be it's just time. It's that time of the year where you need to look into it, and they can help you there at All Pro. Of course, they can also look over your electrical system, and they specialize in installing Generac generators.
Standby power, Joey. It's such a nice feeling.
Yeah, when the storm rolls through, power stays on, but don't just treat it like a cost. Like, oh, I'm going to pay to make sure I have peace of mind to keep the power on when the storm rolls through. Treat it like an investment.
Exactly.
It really does up the value of your home. So call up All Pro Heating, Air, and Electrical today at 301-1961. That's 301-1961. Or you can always go to allproheatingair.com and be sure to tell them that Joey and Eddie, those fellas on the radio, sent you. Again, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. So we have time here for a story I noticed last night.
All right.
Maybe I dreamed it up. In fact, when I saw it this morning, I'm like, oh, I didn't dream it up. This one's a little juicy.
Okay.
It's kind of, in a way, given the theme of the show, a ghost story. Ooh. Whistleblower James Comey had FBI honeypot spies infiltrate Trump's 2016 campaign. Alleged off-the-books investigation predated FBI's Russia collusion probe.
Mm-hmm.
The House Judiciary Committee is examining a whistleblower report that the FBI targeted Donald Trump soon after he announced his presidential campaign in June 2015, an off-the-books operation ordered by FBI Director James B. Comey that predated the Crossfire Hurricane operation. An FBI agent involved in the probe, emphasis on probe, revealed the off-the-books criminal investigation on Tuesday in a protected disclosure sent to the committee. The whistleblower disclosure said 2 female FBI undercover agents infiltrated Mr. Trump's 2016 campaign at high levels and were directed to act as honeypots. What does that mean?
Well, Joey, that's when I tried to lure you with my female persuasion.
Like go have sex with them?
Yep. Compromise you.
Man, how do I start working for the Trump campaign? They were directed to act as honeypots while traveling with Mr. Trump and his campaign staff on the trail. According to the disclosure, which the Washington Times reviewed, the investigation differed from the later Crossfire Hurricane counterintelligence operation targeting Russian collusion. It said the early off-the-books probe was a criminal investigation targeting Mr. Trump and his 2016 presidential campaign staff. The agent, quote-unquote, personally knew that Mr. Comey ordered an FBI investigation against Mr. Trump and that Mr. Comey personally directed it.
Mm-hmm.
The off-the-books investigation did not appear to target a specific crime, but was more of what agents would describe as a fishing expedition to find something incriminating about Mr. Trump. The Times reached out to the FBI, Mr. Comey, for comment. A House Judiciary Committee spokesman said the committee received the whistleblower allegations and, quote, plans to look into them. The whistleblower said the undercover operation was hidden from Justice Department Inspector General Michael E. Horowitz, who investigated misconduct in the Bureau's probe of the Trump campaign. The whistleblower disclosure also said the secret investigation may indicate institutional bias against Mr. Trump, though, quote, it does not appear that any information about this investigation was turned over to Trump's criminal defense counsels.
How do we know?
Former FBI Assistant Director Chris Swecker said the report, if true, is a booming, egregious violation Booming indeed. Of the rules governing the Attorney General and the FBI. Wait, it's against the law for the Attorney General FBI to send some smoking hot FBI babes, they work out, and to act like honeypots.
It worked for Trump Petraeus. Why wouldn't it work for Trump?
They were just doing push-ups.
Traitor.
It's an unpredicated infiltration of a presidential campaign, which is sensitive. Former Assistant Director Chris Swecker said, it's sensitive to the point where it would have to have been approved by the AG and would have to be predicated. And in this case, I'm not hearing any predication. It would have to be on the books anyway, regardless.
Well, let's go talk to those 2 FBI agents.
Yeah, let's talk to the honeypots.
Right. If nothing else, just take a good look at them.
Right. But what if you catch on that they're honeypots and you start giving them false information? Well, you're actually saying, I'm giving you the goods.
That's just playing the game, Joey. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's just playing the game.
Talked about being captured by your sources. Right?
That's the difference between a sucker.
A sucker? Ooh.
There were no noises.
What?
There was no noise.
There was no noise. It was just a poltergeist. No noise.
Just whatever it was.
There was no you go up the doors locked. Ooh.
No.
None of that?
No, I laid in the bed. I put the covers back over my head. I didn't want to see what I
Get out of here, son. There's an exorcism going on. But let's get a break.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
If you think the only job at a broadcasting station is in front of a microphone, you're missing some great career opportunities, including advertising sales, promotions, news, business administration, engineering, and more. Learn more about these broadcast careers by visiting the Alabama Broadcasters Association's virtual job fair October 28th through November 1st at broadcastersvirtualjobfair.com. You'll find information about great jobs across the state, as well as specific positions here at Blue Water Broadcasting. And you'll be able to apply online at broadcastersvirtualjobfair.com.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm Joey, that's Eddie. And, both senators, United States senators from the great state of Alabama, are getting in on the national political action. I'm sure you've heard it at the top of the hour reports, but Tuberville's tweet, Joe Biden finally said the quiet part out loud, says Coach Tuberville.
Okay.
He and Kamala Harris have treated every American like garbage for 4 years by opening our borders and allowing 10 million plus illegals to invade our country. Every American, especially those who are under the age of 45, needs to vote for President Trump if they want any hope of preserving our country as we know it. Vote Trump to save America. Directly from Coach.
That's pretty good.
And then you have Katie Britt. I think she was on, who's that handsome woman? I wouldn't say pretty. Who's the handsome woman on Fox News?
There's quite a few.
They got a lot of pretty women.
Yeah, but there's quite a few handsome, too.
Right. They really do. Like, a lot of pretty women, but... Oh, Laura Ingraham. Yeah. Handsome woman.
No.
What do you mean?
No.
What do you mean? Like...
No.
I think it's appropriate use of that term.
I don't.
What
Unless
would
you're talking about horses.
That's just rude. Just to quote Megyn Kelly
Yeah.
and Nikki Haley, it's being a little brotastic. Don't you want to win the women? If you keep talking this way, Eddie, and Republicans and Trump and Tony Hinchcliffe, you're not going to win over the women. Well, if Hinchcliffe keeps talking, he's going to win the lesbian vote.
Well, not only that, women know ugly when they see it, too. Women do appreciate honesty, or at least they say they do.
But apparently, Katie Britt said it's absolutely reckless, this Nazi rhetoric. We've seen this rhetoric, and they continue to dial it up. It has no place in American politics. No one should be talked to or called things like that, and they know it. They know exactly what they're doing, Laura, and it's despicable. What? What?
Keep going.
No. Like, what? What? There is a ghost in here.
Yeah.
Did you see a station in Pennsylvania while showing some, race, auto race? Accidentally put up as the bottom third the results for the presidential election, showing Harris has won Pennsylvania by 52%.
How did they explain that one away, Joey?
I don't even know. People are just pointing it out, and it's like, we're just testing it.
Well, it worked. It pissed me off.
Just testing it. Goodness gracious. But Coach Tuberville isn't just pushing the latest in presidential politics.
Okay.
He is still on. And some folks are like, nobody cares about it, Tommy. Stop being dumb. But I kind of agree with him. Continues push to make daylight savings time permanent.
Please.
Let's do it.
I'm all about it.
I'm not sleeping well anyway these days.
Who is against it?
Tuberville says the practice is outdated and advocates for the passage of the Sunshine Protection Act. Tuberville is quoted as saying, Alabamians have made it clear that springing forward and falling back should be a thing of the past. Centuries ago, a time change might have made sense, but it doesn't today. In 2021, the Alabama legislature passed a bill to make daylight savings time permanent, but the federal government must pass federal-level legislation to allow the law to take effect. An additional hour of sunshine, said Tuberville, in the evenings during cold winter months would be welcome news for folks on their way to work and kids on their way home from school. It just makes sense to pass the Sunshine Protection Act, and I will keep fighting to get it across the goal line.
It's ridiculous. I've never met one person in this world that goes, man, I really love daylight savings.
Yeah.
In fact, I meet everyone just the opposite. So in typical government fashion, oh, you guys hate that? We're just going to ignore it. Let it keep being a pain in your butt twice a year. Just to remind you, we are in charge.
Yeah, let's just keep it consistent.
That's all anybody's asking for.
Mm. But the fall back's not too bad. You get an extra hour.
No, you're falling for it, Joey. No,
yeah, I know,
it needs to.
It needs to be. I'm not falling for it. Don't tell me I'm falling for anything.
If anything, split the difference. Half hour each side.
I'm not falling for anything. I'm just saying, after we fall back, let's just keep it there.
Keep it at that one. That's what you
keep
want
it
to
at that. Keep it at that one.
If you're all about one more time,
See,
I'm fine.
that's where I kind of disagree with Coach. We need to keep it consistent, but I want more darkness because we're dark MAGA here.
That's very true.
I'm a creature of the night. Would you believe that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it? The neuroticism?
Yep.
I think that goes hand in hand. Now, moving away from politics.
Okay.
Did you watch World Series last night? I saw your cat fell asleep.
Yeah, we watched it up until, we actually watched till the end. Okay, here's my take on that. What would have happened if New York would have lost last night? Okay, so they got to keep the money coming in. We got to keep the game going. We got to keep the crowd going. So, they wrote in the book, hey, Yankees are going to win tonight.
So Betts is, you think it's rigged?
Come on.
Yeah, okay. Or, they could actually hit home runs. Number one, Freddie Freeman.
I'm not knocking that.
He has the record now for World
I'm not
Series.
saying that they weren't hitting great home runs. I just think maybe the other team
It
was
is a
told,
short porch, though.
lay off tonight.
But did you see this whole fan interference thing?
Yeah, I watched that live.
Yeah, here it is. We got it on the stream. And they won't let go of his glove. Like they're holding him up just by his glove, trying to take the ball, rip it out of his hand.
If that's not New Yorkers in stereotype, I don't know what is. Because it was two of them. You get his glove, I'll get the ball.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah, look at that shot right there. Like he's not on the ground. Mookie Betts is not on the ground.
Hanging. Yeah, you get the glove, I get the ball. And they both went at it. I mean, it was
They
the
really
most
didn't
New York
wrestle
thing
it.
I'd seen in a while.
Yeah. And he's kind of helpless. He's like,
Oh,
no.
yeah. What can he do? He's hanging there.
And they did call it out. It wasn't out.
Oh, yeah. And then they ended up kicking him out. I think a little while later, they ended up kicking him out. But they just did not surprise me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was ruined and people were angry, but I'm a fair weather fan. That's a little bit of extra stuff. I like that.
Did you see Buzz Aldrin, back to politics, has endorsed Trump now?
I think I read that this morning.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's back in Kamala.
I saw that this morning, but I also saw his baby's mama, so that doesn't surprise me. The maid that looks like Chewbacca.
Oh, really? She looked...
Oh, good Lord, she looks like Chewbacca. Yeah.
Like hairy?
Hairy and ugly.
Well, hairy women, ugly, hairy women need loving too.
Yeah, but you shouldn't have to shave their face.
Why do you got to talk that way? The Trump people just become so brotastic. You're going to lose the women vote. Listen to Nikki Haley or you're going to lose the women vote.
Has she came out lately? Have you heard? Is she endorsing Trump?
Yeah, she endorsed Trump, but they haven't spoke. I haven't talked to Bird Brain in months.
Right. I was just wondering. I didn't know if
She came out after the Tony Hinchcliffe thing and goes, you're going to lose the women vote if you keep talking this way. You actually have to respect people and speak to them where they're at. And it's like,
that's when you
thanks,
say,
Mom.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom.
But let me remind you, you were the loser.
Yeah, it's just. Can we vote already?
Thank you. That's where I'm at. That is where I'm at.
Can we just get this over with at this point?
I did see some, those drop-off ballot boxes. I've seen 2 different ones now on the news that have burst into flames.
Yeah, but this is in like the Northwest, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not around here nowhere.
Yeah, and it's probably Antifa types.
You think?
But here's a story from the Epic Times.
Okay.
Why many young men are backing Trump. So you're always hearing like, you're losing the female vote, but why is he winning the male vote? There's signs that this block of young men could break for Trump in 2024, which could spell trouble for Vice President Harris. What's shaping up to be a tight race. Did you know that?
I've heard.
As signs of this shift have become more apparent, both parties have sought to reach out to the group. Trump made that 3-hour appearance on Joe Rogan, a podcast popular with younger Americans, especially men. 71% of Rogan's audience is male. The average age is 24.
I see that, yeah.
Top line numbers hide a more polarizing environment among young voters. Young women are much more democratic in their voting patterns, while young men have historically been split about 50-50. This election, Trump may be on track to significantly improve his support among younger voters, particularly those aged 18 to 44, a trend driven by men moving to the Republican Party under Trump. What you see over the 3 cycles from 2016 to 2024 is a general rightward shift in younger voters. about 24 young men who spoke to the Epoch Times across the United States cited economics as their biggest issue in the election, mentioning housing, tax rates, and inflation as their most pressing concerns. Several indicated they were drawn to Trump's masculine persona, a persona that often has the opposite effect on young women. Others say they've been left behind by Democrats, suggesting the party focuses too much on issues such as abortion that affects men less, and others feel villainized by left-wing ideology. I mean, it's all stuff I kind of
some of that, but aren't women drawn to strong men, confident men? I mean, I've always heard that my whole life. I
don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy.
Well, okay, Joe. Why aren't you getting the women? Are you not confident enough?
That's exactly right.
No, I mean, honestly, I've always told that my whole life, that women want a confident man.
Mm-hmm.
So what is Donald Trump if not a confident man?
Yeah, but see, here's what's happened.
Okay.
The confident man, because I think that's the baseline for women.
Okay.
Like, you got to check a bunch of other boxes
Oh, yeah.
for, marriage and love and marriage, all that stuff.
Right.
The kissing and the hand holding. But the first line is, oh, he seems confident. He's assertive.
Yeah.
And then they fall in love and they check all the other boxes. And then I divorce that bastard. Excuse me, pardon me. And now when a confident guy comes around, you're like, I know his type.
Oh, I see where you're going, Joey. That's my ex-husband all over.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Now, that's just as good of a theory, if not better, than these young men are just misogynists and sexist.
That would.
So if we're going to play the psychology game, let's do it. But I think confidence in general helps. But there is, I think, a weird thing going on in the culture where if you're a confident guy and you have a high profile, and then all these stories that come out.
Yeah.
I'm not that shocked by it. It really is a cultural divide. Like, when you see, pictures of Kamala's staff, I'm like, oh, God, really?
Well, that's another thing. I, as just a person, not man, woman, whatever, but as a person, I don't understand. I cannot grasp. In football, we'll use Nick Saban as the example.
Mm-hmm.
You want a Nick Saban-style coach, a solid coach that gets his players to do 100% buy-in, that he is, or we are convinced that he is doing what is best for the Crimson Tide.
Right.
Why don't we want a president that says and does the same thing? Why would we not want that for our country? I want it for a damn football team. Why would I not want that for my country? That's what I just don't get. What am I missing? I don't want a soft leader, not for my country.
Well, in particular, I'm looking at the photo of Trump with his fist pumped in the air, blood streaming across his face, and the American flag in the background. There are a lot of young men who said, damn, I'm going with them after that. Even Zuckerberg came out and said that. You notice, I think the only tweet Jeff Bezos put out this year was about that.
Yep.
It's what prompted Elon Musk to back Trump. Yeah, I think there's something about that sort of courage under fire that in particular speaks to men. And I'm not saying it doesn't speak to women, but again, this divide is something that probably be talked about for a long, long time. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's us?
Did you just say that ugly, hairy women need love too?
Yes, everybody needs love, sir.
I agree. They do need the love.
Okay. So you self-admittedly the other day said you were jacked up on testosterone and mega, and that cougar pretty much called you on the carpet. You slapped Eddie down. Do you recall? Shut up, Eddie.
Oh, yeah, I do. I recall that.
Yeah,
I
well,
recall that.
I mean, she sounded reasonable, but if ugly, hairy women, that's where you got to kick the tires right there. So
actually, my doctor, my lady doctor, cut back my my meds, so I'm a little moody.
So you should not see lady doctors. Those are called gynecologists. You should go back to the men's clinic and the man.
No, I've learned though, if you have a woman who's a professional, she's a lawyer, call her a lady lawyer. She loves it.
I don't know if I agree with that, Joey.
Yeah, they love it.
I don't know about all that.
As compared to a not lady like a man lawyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So, but now, no, y'all have to watch podcasts from the time y'all get off of work to the time, because y'all watch every podcast and know everything about everything online. So y'all need to get off the computer occasionally, but by far, the best line of the whole crap show we've been going through for 2 years was Theo and JD. When Theo, it was like, America's just in bad shape. He's, you can't even do cocaine anymore. That's how bad we got. Best line. JD, he did way better than Tom did with Rogan. Way.
No, and I think JD's going to shine on Rogan's podcast. That's being recorded today. So.
Oh, weren't they from kicking out Friday just like they did? Well, if you can YouTube it. They had lots of problems with YouTube.
Right.
But, I just let you two watch it, and I get the cliff notes, and I don't have to spend hours and hours and hours trying to watch podcasts.
Right.
Y'all can do the dirty work for me.
Right. You can chase the ugly, hairy women, and I can just stay on the internet.
Like listening to Kabbalah last night. Could you listen to that?
No, I watched the World Series.
I dare you to get off at 3 o'clock today and turn on NPR for 1 hour. 1 hour. I mean, that was used to Don Markle from 9 to 11, Rush from 11 to 2, and then I'd switch over to NPR, All Things Belabored and it was, you got, okay, they think this way, I've got something, but oh my God, you cannot listen to NPR. It is horrible. I mean, even the whiny men are little whiny witches, much less the whiny witches that are really, I mean, you could jump out and say boo to them, and they're already pasty white, you can tell.
Ooh.
They got no brothers and sisters on NPR, but at least verbally you can't tell it. I'm sure they got their token, but they don't like them, you can tell.
Indeed.
We're either racist but, I'm like Kamala. I was raised full white trash. I was probably brought up to be a misogynist and didn't even know it.
Right. Well, Roger, I always appreciate the calls, man.
See ya.
See you, bud.
It's a good one. Got to hit this break.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, in stock specials on waterproof luxury vinyl plank and engineered hardwood flooring at blowout sale prices. H&H Carpet, across from Walmart on the Atlanta Highway.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got a very warm end of the month of October on the way. Tonight, mostly cloudy, very mild, overnight low 64. Tomorrow, Halloween, a very warm day with a high around 86, a good bit of sunshine. I think we'll be in the 70s for the trick-or-treat hours, and the overnight low temperature Thursday night down to about 62. Then November begins warm and dry with high temperature up to around 86 on Friday and Saturday, and 84 still dry Sunday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. Get 0% financing up to 48 months with approved credit. Now on select Kubota track loaders and excavators. Get a Kubota. Now through December 31st, 2024. See Capital Tractor Montgomery and Brundage or KubotaUSA.com for details.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Got Eddie over here still saying, well, the World Series, I think it's fixed. I don't think it's actually, we got to have a game 5 for, millions of dollars, billions on the line
Prove
here.
it wrong.
No, I am
Whose
not
best interest is it for it to end today? Whose best interest?
The Dodgers.
So it's one team. But if you ask the Dodgers, hey, would you like a little bit more, something cash if we can keep this series going on a little bit longer? Or are they going to say, no, we don't need the money?
No, I think they want to win a World Series.
It ain't about that, Joey.
Man.
Ain't about that.
Cynicism. Oh. Let's go to Ray. Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Hey, we are busy as bees in the store decorating for Halloween. I forgot it was tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, absolutely. These sales are super scary if you're a big box store. But for our regular customer, when you walk in, it's more like Christmas. Until you see David, and then we're back to Halloween again. It's his favorite time of year.
So you got like spider webs and stuff?
No, it's just his face.
Oh, okay.
He's totally ignoring me. He's not even turning around and looking. That was so wrong. I've been waiting all year to say that. But no, we do honestly have some really, really good sales going on. It's your birthday today, David? Oh, he almost snuck it by all of us.
Happy birthday, Dave.
Yeah. So if anybody comes in between now and closing, don't ask for David because it's his birthday. We don't want to work too hard. This ad just went south. Hey, call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you that free. I'm thinking video because David just laughing at me. Should have been a video. That free measurement. Next thing you know, you got a floor down. Just that simple.
Just that simple, folks. But you got to call 285-8117 and be sure to tell them you heard Ray on the radio and tell David a happy birthday.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it, Ray.
See you, Ray.
So did we learn anything today? I don't think
There's
so.
a lot. Don't forget about the amendments for James. I wrote that down.
I think there's only one. And
Okay.
I think it has to do with like a parcel of land a certain part of a school board owns, and they want to be able to sell it.
I would say we need to look into that.
Yeah?
Already kind of
You don't like it?
fishy. Already. Never mind. I don't want to start no trouble.
Yeah, I'm just
Look where they're building that new school in Montgomery. You know where they're building over on the boulevard there?
I haven't been over there in a while.
Go over there. You're going to be like, really? This is what we're doing? In the middle of we're just going to play in traffic now with a school?
Well, I guess I'll be watching J.D. Vance.
Ooh, that's
Well,
nice.
actually, I'll be watching the World Series tonight. Try to get some sleep out.
Who do you think's going to pull it off tonight, Joey?
If I had to guess, I think the first Grand Slam gave that momentum to the Dodgers. I
Okay.
think this next that Grand Slam last night. I think the Yanks take it again.
I think the Yanks do it again.
I think they do it
That'd
again.
be a good story, wouldn't it?
Aaron
That'd
Judge
be a
finally
great
gets
storyline.
off the.
Let's even them up. That way it's, good storyline.
Like, can you not let anything be sacred? Like, you just got to ruin everything?
Sorry, I saw the small man behind the curtain, Joey.
Like, I'm 50 now.
55.
I'm 55 now. I'm 55.
That's right.
I've seen some things. I'm the wiser for it. I got women who listen to this show who got a few more years on me saying the same thing to me in a text message.
Yes.
I'm 55.
55.
I just like it. It's the World Series, man.
Right. You don't think that has already been chosen?
No, I don't think it's the 1920s. It's the
Let me
2020s.
Let me ask you this. Would either team go see Trump in the White House?
That's a good question. I think the Yankees would.
I think the Yankees would. I agree with you.
I think the Yankees would.
Right.
But-
So that goes right back into my conspiracy theory.
But we learned today that Joe Biden needs to shut his big yapper.
I didn't think they were going to let him go out much more, and I see why now.
I know. Kamala having to clean up the mess, corporate media trying to clean up that mess, the Supreme Court, big decision
Yes.
allowing Virginia to purge non-citizens from voter rolls despite the 90-day sacred period before an election.
Question, does that continue on to other states, or does Alabama now have to
Well, that's a
take
good
care-
question, but I'm not the Attorney General.
Okay.
Buzz Aldrin also endorses Trump. Schwarzenegger goes with Kabbalah.
No shocker there.
And, Eddie believes in ghosts.
I had one experience, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
So you think the World Series is rigged and that ghosts are real?
I had one experience.
What does that mean?
That means I experienced something. I still don't know what it was. I know what I saw, but I would have never told anybody if you looked at me today and asked me. You know, I'm not a good liar. You ask me stuff, it comes out.
Tis
Don't ask
true.
me no more else.
Oh, and we also learned about the honeypot operation in 2015 by James Comey.
It worked for Petraeus. Why wouldn't it work for Trump?
And how do I get the FBI to investigate me?
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside. With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said North Korean troops wearing Russian uniforms and carrying Russian equipment are moving into the Kursk region near Ukraine in what he calls a dangerous and destabilizing move. David DePape, the man who was sentenced to 30 years in federal prison for attacking the husband of former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi with a hammer in their California home, he has been given a life term without the possibility of parole. That follows a separate state trial. And a 114-year-old Pennsylvania woman is now believed to be the oldest living person in North America. Naomi Whitehead was born in September 1910 on a farm in Georgia. The Dow dropping 8 points and the NASDAQ Composite off 44. This is SRN News.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your